The plans will drive up the cost of vehicles for consumers.
Fox's Jared Halpern. E-cigarette maker Juul Labs will pay $462 million to 6 states over its marketing to young people. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Still burning. Sunny, 78 degrees downtown. Nothing on your radar. Clear. Skies expected pretty much all day. Low of 48 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Stockyards Bank. Here's what's trending at 3:02. The mayor of Richmond is already pointing the finger for a massive fire at a plastic recycling facility in Richmond. Kurt Darling reports.
Mayor Dave Snow says they had cited the owner of the facility several times for not keeping his business clean, saying that the operation was a fire hazard.
And everything that's ensued here, the fire, the damages, the risk that our first responders have taken and the risk the citizens are under are the responsibility of that negligent business owner.
Snow and other city leaders are keeping an evacuation order in place for the time being in neighborhoods around the fire. Health experts with Wayne County saying that the smoke from the fire has sent several cancer-causing toxins into the air. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man accused of killing a pizza delivery driver last month on the east side has been arrested, says IMPD. Stephen Flynn was the man shot outside of a home on Priscilla Drive March 30th. Officers say they arrested a 33-year-old man but did not give their name for investigative reasons. One person is dead after they were hit by a car this morning on the northeast side. IMPD says they got a call about someone hit just before 6 a.m. near the 46th and Emerson intersection. Officers say the man was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver stayed behind to cooperate with police. Mail-in voting in Indiana might be a lot different for the elections coming up in November. State House Republicans have pushed through a bill that would change the process of getting a mail-in absentee ballot.
It requires that these applications for absentee ballots by mail be accompanied by either a photocopy of a government-issued photo ID or one of 4 numbers.
State Senator Eric Cook, who supports the bill, Democrats like State Senator J.D. Ford say the changes will make it more difficult for elderly Hoosiers to vote. The bill now sits on Governor Holcomb's desk awaiting his signature. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
What would you do with a little extra cash? Quick getaway, organic fruits and veggies, mini shopping spree? It's all possible with Stockyards Bank Extreme Checking. Earn 4% annual percentage yield on balances from $1 to $10,000 by doing things you already do every day. Just swipe your debit card at least 10 times a month on purchases of at least $5, set up a direct deposit, and enroll in e-statements. Splurging is easier with Stockyards Bank. So what would you do with a little extra? Visit syb.com/extreme to learn more today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With traffic at 3:04, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison, we're a little bit slow coming down 69 right now, just a bit. From 96th Street down to 82nd outside of that glorious, beautiful day, and traffic is cooperating. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. If you're looking to hire, look to Indeed. With Indeed's hiring platform, you can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunshine as we head into the afternoon with warm temperatures, breezy conditions, a high of 80. Clear, quiet, and comfortably cool tonight, a low of 49. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
So Hammer, last night Trump had his first sit-down since his indictment and arrest. Spoke to Tucker Carlson on Fox. I thought it was a really, really good interview. I didn't get to see the very end of it, but I don't think he really went on the attack in terms of attacking DeSantis or somebody like that. I liked it because he concentrated a lot on foreign policy, his relationships with other major world leaders, what he would have done differently in terms of Ukraine, what went wrong in Afghanistan, how the Biden administration is trying to blame him for the disastrous Afghan pullout. I thought it was a much more calmed, measured, even moderate Trump.
How did Tucker Carlson do? Was it softball after softball, or did Tucker offer any sort of resistance at any point in that conversation?
I don't think there was much resistance. I think it was more or less a back and forth on what happened, talking about perhaps the first president to be arrested and indicted, not to mention during a campaign.
Right.
So it was much more back and forth like that.
So if you missed any of that conversation, we've got the highlights, if you want to call it that, here for you. This is where Tucker Carlson is asking former President Trump about what he thinks is the purpose of this indictment in the Manhattan court.
Just to bottom line it, the purpose of this is to keep you out of the presidential race.
If I weren't running, or if I had bad poll numbers, let's say.
Right.
And again, remember, the Democrats are the party of disinformation. If they want you to run, if they want to run against somebody, they're going to go the opposite. For instance, they don't want to run against me. And now, I just gave you a poll. I'm 9 points up on Biden. But they're the party of disinformation. So what they say is, oh, we want to run against Trump. Now, they always do that. They do that. And other people would do it, but they do it pretty much better than others.
Is there anything they could throw at you legally that would convince you to drop out of the race? If you get convicted in this case in New York,
no, I'd never drop out. No, I'd never drop. It's not my thing. I wouldn't do it.
To me, that's the important part right there, that very end. If something happens, whether you're indicted in this situation or maybe something down the road because you know more is coming, are you going to stay in the race? And he said yes. Now, the polling aspect of that answer, we've said a million times on this show. It's a little silly to buy into all the polling right now.
He loves to quote those polls, though, especially when they're in his favor.
When they're in his favor, right. We had some polls from Iowa and North Carolina earlier this week that one state was okay, Iowa, North Carolina, not so much. But I would advise anybody, just pump the brakes on looking at polling right now. Here is more reaction from Donald Trump on the current investigation.
Usually when you have something like this, the Democrats say, oh, he's terrible, guilty. The Democrats have even said, I'm innocent. I watched some of these, I think it was Andrew McCabe, the FBI guy who I fired. He came out, he said, they've got no case. They've all come out and said it. And then you've had Andrew McCarthy, you've had Jonathan Turley, Greg Jarrett, Dershowitz, all of them, everybody, and they're, down the middle people. They see it, they say, there's no crime, there's no anything. Think of it, Tucker, I've been through 7 years of bull investigations, 7 years.
A BS bomb there.
We got a BS out of the old man last night.
By the way,
BS out of him.
Dershowitz is not a moderate, in my opinion. Dershowitz is a lefty, but he's a guy that knows the law and looks at this and says, holy crap, this is a bunch of baloney, as they say.
And in Weird Science, if I remember right, it was Gary's grandparents. He doesn't stand for baloney. Was it Gary or Wyatt's grandparents?
I think it was Wyatt.
Catatonic in the closet. Here is Donald Trump on his 57 minutes inside of the Manhattan courthouse.
They were incredible. When I went to the courthouse, which is also a prison in a sense, they signed me in. And I'll tell you, people were crying. People that work there, professionally work there, that have no problems putting in murderers, and they see everybody. It's tough place. And they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry.
What do you not believe him when he says that?
Already, there was a story that's on Yahoo, right? Because I have a Yahoo email address for my personal one. So when you log into the main screen, like there's news stories. There's a couple folks that said, nobody was crying at the courthouse. I don't know what he's talking about. So it was less than 24 hours for somebody to come out and go, nobody's crying.
I do believe there were people there that liked him, that respected him, that think it's probably a load of bull crap, as he said live on Tucker's show, but they bleeped it out.
Right.
I do believe that. Whether anybody was shedding tears or not, I don't know.
It's a great story. I don't think anybody's going to come out and go, yes, I was the one crying in the courthouse when Donald Trump walked by. Tears, grown-ass man tears. I get it. You probably thought the dude's getting railroaded. I understand that. A lot of people feel that way.
I do.
But would you be crying tears if you walked by?
No, but it's effed up, man. You have the DNC, the Democrats, trying to stop somebody from running for the president of the United States. His name is Donald Trump. If he wasn't campaigning, if he didn't declare that he was running, he would not be in this situation because they would not have pursued charges in any way, shape, or form. It's scary.
Because he's a threat.
He's such a threat. And the next court date's not till December. The trial's not till the middle of next year.
In
during
January.
the heat of the campaign? Are you kidding me? That's what they can do. They can weaponize the justice system to keep a former president from running and a guy that's campaigning currently from running. That's what they've done here. He's right when he says every legal analyst has looked at this. Even those talking heads on some mainstream media outlets like MSNBC, disgraced FBI Director McCabe have all said, these charges,
there's no there. That's one of the phrases I keep hearing.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
And if you're somebody that hates Donald Trump with the passion of a million fires, be 100% honest with yourself. Do you honestly feel this is not just a political attack? Do you really feel like major laws were broken here? Because if you're somebody that doesn't think this is a political attack, look at the way Fat Alvin is responding to Jim Jordan of Ohio on the Oversight Committee. The Oversight Committee just wants a little oversight. What's the response from Fat Alvin? He sues Jim Jordan. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere either. So don't tell me that, well, this isn't political. This is about the law. No, it's political and it's ridiculous. Here is Donald Trump talking to Tucker Carlson about the biggest threat to America. Now, he said this before. This isn't anything groundbreaking. I think he said it at a rally down in Texas recently, but I think it bears repeating.
Who's the biggest problem, sir? Is it China? Could it be Russia? Could it be North Korea? No, I said the biggest problem is from within. It's these sick, radical people from within, because we can handle, if we're smart, we can handle Russia, China. I did.
I agree with him. The problem we have in this country is us. It's us. It's the lunatics that we entrust with power. And it's both sides of the political aisle. It's wishy-washy, weak Republicans who don't want to fight back, and it's ridiculous, over-the-top radical leftists. That's where we're at.
And like I just mentioned, the weaponization of the law, the FBI going after parents, showing up to school board meetings, the FBI targeting Catholic churches and infiltrating churches. The list goes on and on and on. It's things like that when you start to involve the upper echelons of the federal government into everyday people's lives, it really gets scary.
Now, you mentioned at the top of the segment here that it was kind of a tame Donald Trump last night. You didn't get, lock him up and ridiculous kind of stuff coming out of his mouth. It was pretty chill, Donald Trump last night, but he did throw a little bit of shade at the French President Macron.
You got this crazy world is blowing up, and the United States has absolutely no say. And Macron, who's a friend of mine, is over with China, kissing his ass, in China. I said, France is now going to China.
So we did get a BS and kissing ass last night.
He's talking about when Macron, the French president, was over there for a couple days in China playing grab ass with President Xi, and then immediately started spouting off CCP talking points. We need to, Europe needs to reduce its dependence on the U.S. dollar, actively advocating for the weakening of the U.S. dollar for international business. Just one of the things he said. He's absolutely right.
Now, you can't say that we're not fair and balanced on this program, because Joe Biden also spoke. Joe Biden, he was talking about how the Oval Office that he works in at the White House is actually located inside of the Capitol building.
As a matter of fact, as you walk into my office in the Oval Office of the United States Capitol, guess what?
What?
You know who founded and designed and built the White House? An Irishman. No, not a joke. Not a joke.
He's in Ireland.
Right. I get that.
China's trying to take over the world, Russia, Ukraine, and this guy's gallivanting in China.
What I've learned
in Ireland.
What I've learned about Joe Biden is his response to people laughing right in his face is, it's not a joke. When you say that, yeah, my Oval Office is inside the Capitol building, well, no, it's not. And people start laughing at him. It's not a joke. No, you are. Matt Bear, what's going on?
I'm smart. Looking at the south side, westbound 465 stop and go from Harding Street over to the White River. Eastbound lane's a little bit slow around the White River. And inbound 69 slows down 96th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. Dog bite injury, call Isaacs and Isaacs. The law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Man, another beautiful day outside. Sunshine, 78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Man, we got a show for you today. Tommy Laren will join us a little bit after 4 o'clock. Now, she lives in Nashville, and that's kind of been the epicenter of the news cycle the last couple of weeks. So, you know, she's going to bring the heat. That's coming up a little bit after 4 o'clock. We've got Tony Kennett on the way. Loaded show for you. But coming up next, we've got some bad news for you.
No.
If you love leftovers the way that I love leftovers, I think this is bad news. We'll talk about it next.
Woodard, Emhart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could get a 35% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. We're believers in Bill, and now we're clients too. Not only will you get a 35% bonus, you'll sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company that's been in business for 140 years and has $2.5 trillion in assets.
To learn how you could get your 35% bonus, call 317-932-9912. Reach out to Bill Demery, your retirement guy, at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Give your small business one tech solution that checks all the boxes. It's all here with the Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's cyber threat security for peace of mind. Check. The power of the largest, fastest, reliable network for small business. That's a triple box check right there. And save up to 75% a year on your wireless bill with Comcast Business Mobile. Check and cha-ching. It's everything you need to keep your business connected. From the company powered by the next generation 10G network. The Complete Connectivity Solution. Get started for just $49 a month for 24 months when you add mobile. And ask about an $800 prepaid card. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Ends 5/21/23. Restrictions apply. Requires 2-year agreement, EcoBill, and autopay. New 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares weighted average of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data. Savings vary.
Why does We Grow Hair Indy have the best hair transplant results? Because they have the best technology. And I'm living proof of it. This is Rob. I'm out and about in the community for this radio station, and I feel so much better because We Grow Hair Indy has the technology that restored both my hairline and my crown area. And this year, they can restore yours too. Call them right now at 317-522-2995. Here's Darren Andrews to explain.
Having that strong hairline again completely changes the way you see yourself. It makes a huge difference. A lot of people think the crown cannot be transplanted. It's actually an area of specialty for us with our multi-unit hair grafting.
My hair is going to grow the rest of my life. I'm very happy I called We Grow Hair Indy. Call right now for your free evaluation. 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com. The gold standard in hair restoration.
Denny Smith here. Spring is here at Sundown Gardens in Westfield. Right now, Sundown Gardens has 20% off all container, deciduous, shade, and ornamental trees, including Japanese maples and all the gift decor in Miss Mary's gift shop. Sundown's nursery is overflowing with a great selection of trees, so visit the garden center to find that perfect ornamental, shade, or Japanese maple for your landscape, all at 20% off. Visit Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road. SundownGardens.com. It's SundownGardens.com.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust, like B&W Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Well, bad news if you're a fan of Tupperware.
Oh, no.
The elite gold standard brand name in the food storage business could be going out of business.
Tupperware? What? How can Tupperware go out of business? People have never been fatter.
Is that what the Tupperware CEO, is that the argument he's going with?
I mean,
our customers
fat people
have never been fatter. I can't believe this is going on.
They love to put their food in Tupperware, put it in the fridge, and eat it again later, usually in a couple of minutes or hours. This country has never been more grossly obese, and you're going to look me in the eye and tell me Tupperware's having a problem?
The CEO of Tupperware says, I'll just read part of this statement. The company is doing everything in its power to mitigate the impacts of recent events, and we are taking immediate action to seek additional financing and address our financial position. Now, how does this happen?
What recent events is he talking about?
Like the most famous, I would be thinking people are eating in more at this time, at this stage, even though groceries are expensive. Eating out's very expensive.
Right.
The most famous brand that makes containers to hold leftovers. I mean, Tupperware is the brand, right?
Right.
I mean,
it's the go-to for leftovers in the fridge. Like some people can get away with using aluminum foil on like a paper plate or something.
I do that sometimes.
That's not for everything. Like leftover soups and stews and chili and that kind of stuff. It goes in one container, and damn it, that's Tupperware.
I mean, I guess I didn't even know Tupperware. Like, honestly, before this, I'm not sure I knew Tupperware was still a thing. Like, remember when your mom used to go to Tupperware parties?
Oh, I remember Tupperware parties, yeah. My mom was never invited to those. She was on the list of people not to invite to the Tupperware parties.
Okay,
but I know what you're talking about.
That's bad when you can't get invited to a Tupperware party. I think maybe like the competition.
Mrs. Hammer's a little aggressive.
Well, the acorn does not fall from the tree. I see. I think like competition from companies like Glad, who sell those disposable containers or ones that you can use for like a few months and then throw away.
I think Betty Crocker has a line of little ones that you can use.
I guess you would just think like Tupperware would change its business model to compete with things like that. I mean, you go to restaurants, when you do go to a restaurant and get a doggy bag or leftovers, they don't send it seems like they hardly ever send it in a styrofoam piece of garbage little container anymore. It's like a container that you can reuse over. And plus the fact that Tupperware was a good product, once you buy a set of Tupperware containers, you don't have to buy them for another 30 years.
You're right on that, man. You're right. Like if you go to your mom's house, for those who still have grandparents, look in their cabinets.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to find Tupperware that they bought like when Rutherford B. Hayes was the president. It's still in there and it's still good. Now, Allison, I want to check and see something with you. Again, there's a little bit of an age difference between Nigel and I and yourself. How old are you?
28.
Okay, you're 28. I'm 45. Nigel, you're 46. Is that right? When he says doggy bag, do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, like a to-go bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've had this discussion before where I don't know if that was a term that has kind of been lost on the younger generation.
I bet it has.
Doggy bag.
Yeah.
Like if my son went on a date and goes to a restaurant and says, "Can I have a doggy bag?" Is it weird? Like you don't see young people asking for a doggy bag, do you?
I don't finish up a fancy meal at Noah Grant's. Ask the waitress, "Hey, lady, can I have a doggy bag for the rest of this filet, please?" I usually ask for a to-go container.
Is there anything more frustrating than when you've got a great to-go box or container from the restaurant?
You're looking forward to eating it the next day for lunch, yeah.
And you realize you forgot it in the restaurant.
Yeah, awful.
Oh. That's the worst, right?
I have a vivid memory of me forgetting my cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh,
I have not forgiven myself years later.
So it wasn't even like you had ordered like you didn't
it was
even
half a
eat
cheesecake that was probably like $30. I don't know. I'm still upset about it. Still dream about it.
And that moment you get home and you're realizing, let me grab it out of my car. Oh no!
Yep.
That moment. There are certain moments that just trigger anger. Like when that few seconds where you realize you've locked your keys in the car, and the moment where you realize you forgot the take-home food at the restaurant.
What's the best kind of food to take home and reheat? What the next day? I'd say steak.
Pasta.
Pasta? Oh, yeah, okay. Pasta's good.
Man, you can't go wrong with either one of those answers.
I would say wings, especially if it's an air fryer. Like some wings from the Friendly, I can never finish those, man. I'll save them for the next day and put them in the air fryer. They're just as good.
If we're talking about just things to heat up, maybe it's not something you brought home from the restaurant, but if you've ever made like a big-ass pot of chili, almost like the dude from The Office walking that pot of chili
Kevin,
by.
And he spills it.
Having the leftover chili in the fridge and you heat it up and you stir it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
The next day, that's fantastic. Now I'm hungry. Dang it.
Sorry.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
The NBA playoffs are here. There's a play-in game tonight. A couple of them, actually. You can turn crossovers into cash with FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/WIBC right now. Place a $5 bet, and you'll get an instant $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The Chicago Bulls and the Raptors. Bulls are 6-point underdogs. If you take the Bulls and they end up winning to go on to face the Bucks, great. If not, doesn't matter because you get an instant $150 back in bonus bets on an app that's safe and secure. You will get paid instantly, and there is no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sports book. That's FanDuel. Just go to FanDuel.com/WIBC and sign up to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Indianapolis is the crossroads of America, the crown jewel of the Midwest.
I'm Jefferson Shreve. I grew up in Perry Township on the south side. I've stayed pretty close to home. Indianapolis, Indiana is my home. The first part of my life was focused on growing a business. And in doing that, I've done some good. Employed quite a few people.
But with a crumbling infrastructure and record-breaking crime, can we still say Indy is a jewel of a city?
I think sadly, we've had better, shinier, happier days in our past than we are at today.
Jefferson Shreve has a plan. Hire more police, give them the support they need, and let them do their job. Because we don't have to live like this.
Strong leaders can pull people into a cause and motivate them.
What Indy needs now is a leader with a plan.
I'm Jefferson Shreve, and I need your vote for mayor of Indianapolis.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
Yeah, Galaxy Concrete Coating came in and turned my cracked old garage into something brand new. Within a day, it looks gorgeous. Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. They don't only do garage floors. They could do your garage, your basement, pool deck, or any indoor or outdoor area concrete, and they don't use epoxy. Epoxy's the old stuff the other guys use. What they use is better. It's polyurea. It's the new premium standard for coatings. See before and after pictures. Get a quote at their website, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office, 317-751-9070.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Concerns before the fire. Sunny with temperatures in the upper 70s downtown. Nothing on your radar. Lows down to 48 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Before a plastics recycling facility caught on fire in Richmond Tuesday, Mayor Dave Snow said the city already had their concerns.
This business owner had previously been cited by our Unsafe Building Commission and given an order to clean up the property. That order was ignored.
Thick black smoke was pouring out of the building yesterday afternoon. Several residents had to leave town because of air quality concerns. Tennessee county officials are voting to reinstate Democratic lawmaker Justin Pearson. Pearson was expelled from the Tennessee state legislature after holding a protest on the floor, breaking House rules. Another city council voted to reinstate Representative Justin Jones Monday. The two were protesting gun violence after a school shooting last week in Nashville. President Biden is in parts of Ireland today that are closely tied to his family's history. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
President Biden began his day in Belfast, marking 25 years since the Good Friday Accord ended decades of sectarian violence.
The enemies of peace will not prevail. Northern Ireland will not go back, pray God.
The president lauded political leaders in Belfast, urging them to solve complex problems arising in the aftermath of Brexit. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
California is one of 6 states announcing a $462 million settlement agreement with e-cigarette maker Juul Labs. The settlement revolves around the company violating state laws by targeting young people through advertising and promotional campaigns. Do college students deserve a refund for the in-person classes they missed during COVID-19? One Ball State student thinks so and is taking the issue to court.
They provided the education that these students had paid for, and still they are being sued. And the legislature, under these unique circumstances, could reasonably think that the schools are entitled to some relief.
The university's attorney, Brian Paul, Indiana Supreme Court is hearing whether a class action lawsuit will be allowed. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Have you noticed that most ice creams now come in smaller cartons? Not Bluebell. We're still making a full half-gallon and a full pint of tasty goodness. Bluebell wouldn't have it any other way.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Walmart Supercenters and Walmart Neighborhood Markets.
With traffic at 3:34, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, it's the south side where we are unstopped. Westbound 465 from 31 past Harding, a stall in the right lane. Northeast side, eastbound 465, a little bit tight from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road, and inbound 65, a drag from West Street to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot. Cabinets, vanities, and more Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunshine as we head into the afternoon with warm temperatures, breezy conditions, a high of 80. Clear, quiet, and comfortably cool tonight, a low of 49. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, breaking news. Can we do some breaking news here?
Please.
Headline: Trump sues Michael Cohen, a key witness in the New York criminal case, seeking $500 million.
$500 million.
Trump suing Michael Cohen, his fixer, and Alvin Bragg's star witness, a convicted perjurer.
Does Cohen have $5? let alone $500 million.
Seeking more than $500 million in damages for breaches of fiduciary duty, unjust enrichment, conversion, and breaches of contract. I don't know what any of that means. Sounds pretty serious. But I do think it's funny that all this stuff, all the, the non-disclosure agreements, all these indictments and, the multiple felonies, all, going back to a porn star and her lawyer, her disgraced lawyer who's incarcerated, Michael Avenatti, and she owes him money.
Right.
From a lawsuit.
Think about that. If, and again, this is a big if, but if Donald Trump is successful in suing Michael Cohen, all the key players that are involved in this story, Avenatti's in the joint, Stormy's paying Trump, and then Cohen would be paying Trump.
I'm sorry, I believe when we talked about that aspect of Stormy Daniels owing Trump money, I believe the word they use for that is gangsta.
Gangsta.
With an A.
Oh, man. Well, that's
so
something.
There you go.
Wondering what the counter offer is from the Cohen group.
We don't have $500 million. Can we cut you a check for like $10,000 and call it even?
I don't think he has $10,000. I got some toenail clippers and a couple of tickets to the Colts opener, and that's the best I can do. Meanwhile, you've got the district attorney, Fat Alvin Bragg, trying to stop the oversight committee from sending subpoenas. You can't stop the oversight committee from doing oversight. Like, I don't claim to be a lawyer, but I don't think it works that way. Did you see that fire in Richmond yesterday?
The warehouse? Yeah, man. It's another one of those, huh?
So this happened yesterday around 2:40, shortly before we came on the air.
People either had to evacuate or shelter in place.
Right. And they were telling people, don't turn on your air conditioning or your heat system, any sort of HVAC, because there's so much contaminated black smoke in the air that it could get into your house. I mean, this thing was bad. And it was one of those like recycling centers.
It's a plastic recycling center, yeah.
If you've ever seen plastic burn, like if you've ever seen a fire where plastic is burning, man, it is black smoke. It's bad. And pretty much that's all what this place was. Earlier this morning, they had a press conference. Here is Richmond's Mayor Dave Snow.
This is a very large site. It is a site that previously was a business that collected plastics and other materials for the purpose of recycling and resell. It is an indoor and outdoor site, and so when this fire broke out, it spread through both the structures on the site and the outdoor storage that was on site.
Big nasty, man. It was a mess. Now, yesterday, they weren't able to really put a lot of the fire out because of the way that it was going and the lack of equipment that they had. Here's the fire chief. It's a guy by the name of Tim Brown, Richmond fire chief, talking about today's agenda and how they actually plan to get in and start putting some of the fire out.
Today, our plan is to get the excavators in and pull apart and make access to the burning areas. Yesterday, our access was very hampered by the rubbish and the piles of plastic that were surrounding the complex. Yesterday, we only had one way into the entire structure. Today, we're going to use excavators to gain access and to get to the deeper seat of the fire.
Yeah, here's the thing everybody needs to know about what happened in Richmond at this warehouse yesterday. Unlike the Walmart facility, that giant warehouse that burned to the ground, was that last summer?
In Plainfield.
In Plainfield, yeah. And we still don't know how that happened. We still don't have any details about what went on there. The mayor of Richmond is saying the business owner, the owner of this warehouse, it had previously been cited by the building commission to clean up the property, and the order was ignored. They were operating, how they were operating was a fire hazard, according to Richmond officials. Now, we don't know how the fire started, again, but we do know that this place had a history of violations, and the mayor said, quote, the business owner is fully responsible for all of this.
You bring up Walmart. Did you see in Chicago, half of the Walmart locations are closing down? 4 of the company's 8 Chicago stores are being abruptly closed because they've not turned profits since they've opened up 17 years ago. How does a Walmart not make a profit? It seems like everybody goes to Walmart.
Well, let's read a statement from Walmart. You know what? I'm not going to read the entire thing here again, but towards the end of this statement from Walmart, again, closing several Walmart locations in Chicago, quote, "There was nothing leaders could do to help us get to the point where they would be profitable."
Nothing leaders could do to help us.
Can I get a translator in here? None of the fools in charge are doing anything about the crime and theft in our stores, so see ya.
That's pretty much it. That's accurate. Imagine a Walmart saying it's too rowdy. We need help. Because, again, maybe my hometown Walmart's a little different than most Walmarts.
Beech Grove?
My Beech Grove Walmart's got a bit of a reputation. You see it on Patrol Live pretty much every weekend. There was a little kerfuffle a number of years ago in the shampoo aisle.
Yeah, right. Kerfuffle. Good use of the word kerfuffle.
But it still is open, right? It's still able to be a store where people can go in and get their goods and services. In Chicago, the third largest city in America, you're telling me that these stores couldn't turn a profit? How out of control is the crime?
I guarantee it's all because of the crime. I mean, look at Starbucks here in the Circle. They said, we don't feel safe down here anymore. And the Hogshead administration held their hands up and what's up with that? What are you talking about? It's safe down here. Starbucks, ultra-liberal left-wing Starbucks, up and closes their Circle because they said we don't feel safe down here anymore.
And you see stories like that from Portland, from Seattle.
Whole Foods in San Francisco.
Exactly right.
Shut down.
Even the folks that probably have the same ideology as you do don't want to deal with the nonsense. So places like Walmart are closing down in major cities like Chicago, which brings us to great moments in Walmart history. This is when a disgruntled Walmart employee live streamed themselves going over the store intercom and turning in their notice.
Attention all shoppers, associates, and management. I would like to say to all of you today that nobody should work here, ever. Our managers will make promises and never keep them. And not only that, they will preach to us about how they care about their employees. But about a month ago, my boss, assistant manager Cora, called me a waste of time and management did nothing to help. Management will also try and save money every step of the way, including cutting benefits of a full-time associate down to part-time, even though he worked 40-plus hours a week. I've been a loyal employee here for over a year and a half, and I'm sick of all the bullshit, bogus write-ups, and my job. Management, this job, Walmart.
I'm out.
And you heard people applauding at the end.
That was over the Walmart intercom?
Right. And because this is great moments in Walmart history, that person wasn't the only one to turn in their notice using the Walmart PA system. But this woman jacked it up a level. She also called one of her coworkers a pervert.
Attention Walmart shoppers and associates. My name is Beth from Electronics. I've been working at Walmart for almost 5 years, and I can say that everyone here is overworked and underpaid. We're told that we're replaceable. This company treats their elderly associates like to Jared, our store manager, you're a pervert. Greta and Kathy, I hope you don't speak to your families the way you speak to us. Manage it and this job, I quit.
You just imagine Jared with his feet propped up on his desk, taking a sip of coffee. All of a sudden he hears, to Jared, my manager, you're a pervert.
And I wonder if anybody came back in the store the next couple of days. Yes, pervert Jarrett here. I was supposed to return this product, and pervert Jarrett was supposed to take care of it.
These are great. Man, I love this segment.
Great moments in Walmart history. I can't hide from it. I'd be a total hypocrite if we didn't bring it up. The shampoo aisle fight at the Beech Grove Walmart. And this was such a big part of pop culture lexicon, Nige, that even the producers and directors of ESPN's 30 for 30 series, that documentary series, decided to contact us to put together a 30 for 30 about the Walmart fight.
What if I told you that a trip to the Beech Grove Walmart would include kids hitting people with shampoo bottles.
As I was standing there in the boxed wine aisle, getting ready to buy some pork fritters, I heard a commotion. I just knew when I saw a scooter pull up and F-bombs flying around. Something very classy was about to take place.
When I saw a woman, stretchy pants, fast food grease stains all over her shirt, start beating up another woman in a Walmart scooter in Beech Grove, I was shocked, stunned. I didn't know what to think. And then I remembered that Jason Hammer is from Beech Grove. And it all made sense.
A brand new 30 for 30. The Beech Grove Walmart fight. Directed by Hammer and Nigel.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
This Saturday, make your way to Brownsburg and be part of the fundraiser for Brownsburg Blessing Boxes at Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street. From 3 to 7 p.m., we're going to raise money to help feed people in need. Just make a $100 donation, and you're going to be eligible for some amazing prize packs. You got to check it out, including some things curated by me, Tony Katz. We'll have a live Eat, Drink, Smoke show and a live Gun Guy show with Guy Relford. So join us on Saturday, April 15th from 3 to 7 p.m. to support Brownsburg Blessing Boxes at Premier Arms in Brownsburg. See you then.
Spring has sprung and the sky's floodgates have opened. If you have a clogged pipe, who to call is a no-drainer. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing. They're the experts in the industry and trustworthy plumbers who care about your health and safety of your home. During the month of April, Hope is offering a $49 mainline cleaning with a free camera inspection. Stop the gurgling pipes and don't stress over all those tree roots in your yard. Call Hope Plumbing today and schedule your $49 mainline cleaning.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Governor Holcomb, I love how high school sports teach the importance of the journey.
I couldn't agree more, Commissioner Neidig. Before any measure of success is achieved, like making a winning play or earning a state championship, student athletes go on an essential journey that humbles and teaches them every step of the way.
The lessons learned along the journey of high school sports are about so much more than just the game. Student athletes learn how to persevere through adversity, never give up, and to get better every day.
This second classroom teaches the skills, behaviors, and attitudes student athletes need to be successful on the playing field and in life.
There's no better training ground for today's teens on their way to becoming tomorrow's leaders. Support the vital work of education-based athletics by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is keeping education in front of athletics. This is the journey of high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Casey's not going to be on TV. She's going to join us next for the side piece. But first, Matt Bayer's got to look at the roads.
South side stall westbound 465 after Harding. Right lane is blocked and traffic is stop to stop and go back to 65. Eastbound 72 downtown stop and go from Tibbs to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, by carpet, get free padding only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Sunshine 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show. Hammer right over there. My name is Nigel, also joining us live in studio for the side piece. It is Casey Daniels from the Kendall and Casey show. Casey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Excellent. One of the things you guys, on your show in particular, we mentioned it a few times on our show, but you've been hammering home the issue of property taxes, or should I say skyrocketing property taxes, and how nobody is doing anything about it. In fact, you guys had a Democrat on, I believe, last week or the week before.
Two of them.
Seems like they're doing more for the issue of property tax than the Republicans are right now.
Yeah, well, and another big blow to what little Jeff Thompson did try to get across. So the House actually was trying in their very small little way to cap the property tax, also increase the state income tax deductions. And they got that passed 94-1 back in February. However, it went over to the Senate, and the Senate, you know what they said? Kick rocks. They just said, nope, it's not happening. And they put a 34-page amendment to the bill. And now it really says nothing about property taxes at all. And it's all more about food and beverage tax bills in the proposal.
What's been the response you've been getting on voicemails, on email about this issue that you guys keep on talking about? Because the assessments for these properties are through the roof. They're ridiculous. And nobody seems to be doing anything about it.
Yeah, well, we're hearing a lot of, I can't afford to move, I can't afford to stay. I mean, that's where it is, especially if you're thinking about somebody who's a senior citizen or somebody on a fixed income, and these assessments are just through the roof. What can you do? It's awful. I mean, they're saying that one of the provisions that they put in this is that you can go ahead and contest your property tax assessment, and you don't have to get an independent appraisal to get that done. But the county officials are going to presume that the original appraisal value is correct.
Right. So this went to the Senate in the Indiana General Assembly last night.
Yeah.
And died a slow and painful death, basically.
Ugh. Yeah.
You've reached out to some Republicans. I know you have asked on the air, you and your co-host Rob have said, anyone, please come in here and explain this. Because to your show's credit, I know you haven't been there as long as Rob has, obviously, but this has been something that's been on your show's radar for
a year.
A long time.
We've been talking about this for a year now, and nothing has happened. And of course, the end of the session.
Are people not returning your messages or calls to come on the show?
They just, they don't want to answer for it because they can't. What can they say?
What do they tell their constituents? This is not our issue. Just go call somebody else.
We've heard from a lot of our listeners who say they've reached out, they've emailed, they've called, and they're not getting any response anymore. At first, it was like, yeah, we're working on a plan. Just sit tight. But now they're not getting any response at all. And this is increasing by an average of 20% across the state. I mean, have you guys gotten your property taxes?
That would be the coupon lady's department, and she usually doesn't tell me because she doesn't want me, quote, in a bitchy mood.
Oh, right.
They've gone up every year.
Every year.
Every year.
Yeah. See, the proposal that Jeff Thompson sent, he said at least that they were going to try and cap it. But now it went to the Senate, and the Senate just took all of the language out. And it's because the Senate is mad that the House wouldn't pass one of their bills. This is like an internal war that they're having at the expense of Hoosiers.
And we're all paying more because all of these entitled, spoiled brats know that they're going to get reelected. And this is something Rob brings up all the time. Yeah. And as much as I hate to say that he's right about anything, he's dead on. You've got these cocky, arrogant Republicans who know for a fact that when the rubber meets the road, their people are going to go into that ballot box and vote Republican. So they're going to continue screwing you around because they can get away with it.
Well, it seems to be that they think a lot of voters are afraid of the social issues, and they're banking on that. And it's true. It keeps happening. People just blindly go in and vote R, even though financially they're, like you said, they're getting screwed. So this Travis Holdman introduced this 34-page amendment, and he said that he wants the pension fund for the teachers who retired before 1996. They have to get that completely paid off before they're going to address property taxes.
These people are the worst, just the worst. But you know what's awesome? Your side piece segment. What are you working on at WIBC.com? Tell me it's something fun. I need to talk about something other than these weenies and their property taxes and screwing us over. Give me something fun.
Well, it's a lot of statistical stuff, how Indiana
Math!
ranks.
Damn it, Casey!
I know. How Indiana ranks, I believe it's 10th for the Green Initiative, how we rank 5th for worst in child care. And,
you mean
some
like,
more numbers.
The Department of Child Services, DCS, is in shambles. Something we talked about on our show. Foster care system needs to be completely reworked.
Yeah, so I'm going to get into that today and get the numbers out.
WIBC.com. Look for the side piece with Casey Daniels. Casey, thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could get a 35% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. We're believers in Bill, and now we're clients too. Not only will you get a 35% bonus, you'll sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company that's been in business for 140 years and has $2.5 trillion in assets.
To learn how you could get your 35% bonus, call 317-932-9912. Reach out to Bill Demery, your retirement guy, at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He said, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Drexel Interior's warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
When you've been injured in a car wreck, there's a lot at stake. Your family, your job, your future. And the insurance company knows there's a lot at stake for them too. That's why you deserve a law firm with a proven track record of success. I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs. Reputation matters. Experience matters. You matter. When everything's at stake, Isaacs & Isaacs is here for you in Indiana. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the fire in Richmond is still burning and people are still leaving town. Someone was hit by a car on the northeast side this morning, and a bill changing the way you vote by mail is on the governor's desk. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Expelled lawmakers heading back. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The second of two black Democratic Tennessee legislators expelled from the Tennessee House over gun protest is going back to work.
The Shelby County Commission sent ousted lawmaker Justin Pearson back to Nashville to rejoin colleague Justin Jones in the House chamber. After the vote, now interim Representative Pearson said he takes hope for gun reform back to the state capitol and sends a message to those who voted him out.
You can't expel justice. You can't expel our voice.
2 of the commission's 9 Democrats and all 4 Republicans were absent from the meeting.
Fox's Gernal Scott, a date has not yet been set for a special election to permanently fill that seat. The parents of the suspect in the deadly Louisville, Kentucky bank shooting making their first public comments today.
While the gunman's parents say there weren't any warning signs, one Kentucky lawmaker says that before the shooting, the suspect either texted or called at least one person to tell them that he was suicidal and planned to hurt others. He also mentioned that statement his parents put out. In it, they say in part, "No words can express our sorrow, anguish, and horror at the unthinkable harm our son inflicted on innocent people, their families, and the entire Louisville community." They continue, "While our son had mental health challenges, which we as a family were actively addressing, there were never any warning signs or indications he was capable of this shocking act."
Fox's Garrett Tenney. The 90 million taxpayers who filed their returns as of March 31st got refunds on an average nearly 10% less than last year. That's due in part to pandemic relief programs expiring. Stocks fell in late trading after the Fed indicated it expected the banking crisis to spark an economic slowdown. The Dow down 37, the S&P falling 16, the NASDAQ closing 102 points lower. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It may not be safe. Sunny, 78 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar. Low tonight down to 48. I'm Harrison Silcox. For Lake City Bank, here's what's trending at 4:02. The black smoke rising from a burning plastics recycling facility in Richmond could be impacting the town's air quality.
Any smoke, whether it has, benzene or any of the other compounds, is dangerous because of the particulate matter.
Christine Stinson, executive director of the Wayne County Health Department. The massive fire started Tuesday afternoon. Several people who live nearby had to evacuate. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. One person is dead after they were hit by a car this morning on the northeast side. IMPD says they got a call about someone hit just before 6 a.m. near the 46th and Emerson intersection. Officers say the man was pronounced dead at the scene and the driver stayed behind to work with police. State House Republicans have pushed through a bill changing the way you would vote by mail during an election. Kurt Darling reports.
A bill heading to Governor Holcomb's desk would place a lot of new requirements to get a mail-in absentee ballot, like providing proof of ID and the last 4 of your Social Security number, all by a paper application, which Democrats like State Senator J.D. Ford have a problem with.
I still stand before you today thinking that this bill is going to make it hard for our older voters to vote.
Republicans say the new regulations will cut down on voter fraud. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you're doing any cleaning this spring, the Indianapolis Zoo is holding a Power Recycling Day, April 22nd.
People get to come out and they get to recycle some of the old electronics that they don't need anymore, doing a little spring cleaning and going green for our planet and for our wildlife.
Cody Maddox with the zoo. The recycling day runs from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. You're paying an average of $3.70 a gallon for gas today. That's according to GasBuddy.com. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 4:04.
Hey, Mom. Hi, honey. Mom, I'm glad you figured out the video call. What's all that noise? Is it your connection?
No, just doing a few things to the house. Your room will soon be a fitness studio.
My room? What? Well, what's that noise? Is that your Wi-Fi?
Oh, that. Your father's taken up the electric guitar. We're remodeling the basement for his jam sessions.
Jam sessions? Mom, are you guys okay? That's a lot of changes.
I'm just making some upgrades, and it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, hon, gotta go. The hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything from remodels to guitar lessons. Learn more at lakecitybank.com. Call 888-522-2265 or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison Southside, Jam-Fest Spectacular, westbound at 465-65 over to the White River because of a stall in the right lane. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st Street to the north, split, eastbound 70, a mess already to downtown from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Eastbound 465 northeast side, stop and go traffic after Westfield Boulevard over to I-69. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store, staplesconnect.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast for the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. One last spectacular day as our high temperature climbs up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Tommy Lahren is no stranger to controversy.
I have a question for the self-righteous Hollywood liberal.
Fox News contributor Tommy Lahren.
Tommy Lahren.
Tommy Lahren. Joining us right now, Tommy Lahren. Tommy Lahren. Please welcome Tommy Lahren.
It's this country, the country that you have so much disdain for, that allows you the right to speak your mind. It protects your right to be a whiny, indulgent, attention-seeking crybaby.
And my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
She is the host of Tommy Lahren is Fearless on Outkick every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can also check her out on Fox News. Tommy Lahren joins us. Tommy, you are in Nashville. You made the move a number of years ago to leave California and move to Nashville. In the last couple of weeks, the epicenter of the news cycle has basically been in your backyard. First question I have, is there any update on this manifesto that we were promised from the lunatic that shot the school up?
Oh, you mean that's still a thing? Because if you watch the mainstream media, they don't seem like they care too much about this at all. They've buried it. They've moved on. Now everything is, again, just going after Trump and protecting trans people and elevating biological men into women's categories. No, there hasn't been any new news on the release of the manifesto, so I guess we can all just fill in the blanks, and I'll tell you this. Methinks it was a targeted attack on Christians by a person that has a trans philosophy that's been aided and abetted by everything that's come out of the Democrat Party in the last 3 years. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that's probably pretty close to what you'd read.
And it's just my gut feeling, Tommy. And again, you live in Nashville, I don't. But had this been somebody wearing a red MAGA hat and a white male that, enjoys the company of women, we would have had that damn thing out that night.
Well, let's think about this. They talk about toxic masculinity and how white males are what we should fear the most because they're so enraged and they're so violent. Well, by this person's, the shooter's own definition, she was a white male. That's how she identified. So I don't know why we're not talking about toxic masculinity here, because that would really fit the definition that the left has been peddling for the last several years of what we should be most concerned about, these extremists, right? But it just goes to show they really don't care much at all about everything that they say, every talking point that they have. If the person doesn't fit the profile, they just want to talk about the guns. That's the formula. They plug and play. I mean, they must be teaching this in our schools because that's pretty much the liberal playbook 101.
Tommy, I'm not sure if you're aware of the 19-year-old trans person that was arrested in Colorado a couple of days after what happened in Nashville. They were planning a school shooting. This trans person had a communist manifesto, and we didn't even find out that this person had been arrested only a day or two after Nashville. We found out like a week and a half later. I looked at that and I said, wow, we wouldn't want people to start noticing a trend here. When I look at these trans people, I notice there's a commonality that some of them appear to be lonely and very confused and desperate. And when you talk about the media narrative, maybe stop pumping the trans genocide narrative into these people's heads, because it's just not true. Two, B, I'm sorry, it's not true, and it's perpetuating this narrative that when you say somebody's getting rid of you. Like transgenocide, it's going to cause violence, I believe. Not to mention pumping them full of hormones and puberty blockers.
Right, which I'm glad that you brought that up, because yesterday on my Outkick show, I had a clinical therapist and social worker on talking about what these hormones do to not only the body, but to the mind. And what she told me is that if this Nashville shooter or any of these other aggressive people in the trans community, if they were indeed shooting up testosterone as a female, that this can have really large impacts on the brain and the mentality of these individuals, the mental state. She told me that testosterone in a female body pumped in like this, which these trans people are very aggressive and even homicidal. So we need to have a discussion about what these hormones are doing to these people. And quite frankly, I've been saying this all week, but I do believe that trans people are victims. But they're not victims of Christians and conservatives. They're victims of Big Pharma and the Rainbow Mafia, who is exploiting them and their vulnerability to make money and to get social clout. And that's what's really disgusting here. And that's where this conversation needs to head.
You bring up the subject of victims, Tommy. Kamala Harris made her way to your backyard in Nashville, spoke at a small university in Nashville. And the first thing that popped into my mind was she's speaking to a university, but she didn't take any time at all to speak to the amazing first responders that ran into that school, that eliminated the threat. She didn't take any time to speak or meet with the families that lost loved ones in that horrific school shooting. So what the hell was the point of Kamala Harris coming to Nashville?
Yeah, it's really, truly disgusting. You know, we don't want her in Nashville. We don't want her in Tennessee, especially if she's not going to come with genuine, heartfelt intent here. What she did is she saw the opportunity to push the left's two favorite things, the race card and gun control. She saw the opportunity in this situation to do both. So she came here. She wanted to do it for attention. These three Democrat Tennessee lawmakers, they wanted the attention. They're all just soaking up the spotlight. They were on GMA earlier this week. It's disgusting. 6 Christians were murdered in Nashville. And suddenly the whole focus is on these 3 idiots who led, by the left's definition, an insurrection on our Capitol. You know, as somebody who lives in Nashville and somebody who lives in Tennessee for 3 years now, I'm disgusted. I can't imagine the people that have lived in Nashville for their entire lives watching this circus. It's so insulting.
Tomi Lahren is our guest, host of Tomi Lahren is Fearless on Outkick. You can also check her out on Fox News. It seems like more and more companies, Tommy, are starting to go not just progressive, but super progressive with their advertising. Obviously, Bud Light catching a lot of flack for having a transgender, a man pretending to be a woman, as one of their key endorsers. Nike doing the same thing. Does it make somebody a bad person if you just want what is in your target audience? Like, I'm a red-blooded American man. I prefer the company of women. I like to watch sports. I say inappropriate things. I feel like the advertising to products to people like me should reflect that, but it seems like it's going the other direction, but the mainstream media makes me out to be the bad guy here.
Right. Well, there's something called the Corporate Equality Index. So I'm figuring out that this is what's behind a lot of this. These companies are vying to have a bigger share of that Corporate Equality Index. So essentially, they want to make their corporations look more woke because they think it gets them points on this index and it makes them more favored. It makes them more favored when it comes to social media, the algorithm, this, that, and the other. So they're really pandering and playing to this. And it really has nothing to do in their mind with being like tolerant and inclusive and wanting to lift people up. It's really about what they believe is their bottom line. They just forget that this Corporate Equality Index might work when you're marketing it to a woke audience. But if you're marketing it to beer drinkers, probably doesn't work so well. But I think also the biggest part of this is that, let's think about this, gentlemen. In 2020, they canceled Uncle Ben, Aunt Jemima, and the Land O'Lakes character, right? All people of color, right? But the only thing that they don't want to cancel is a white man on a Bud Light can. So they're really going against their own narrative here, and they don't see it because this rainbow mafia is now the highest place on the oppression totem pole, so that's all they care about.
And the thing is, if Dylan Mulvaney or whoever the hell it is wants to live that lifestyle, knock yourself out. But if people buying products look at that product and go, yeah, I think that's weird, you shouldn't be called some sort of ist or a homophobe or something. We heard the same crap when that movie came out, Bros or whatever it was called.
Oh, yeah.
And it flopped at the box office, and the producers and directors blamed literally everybody in America, Tommy, for not going out to watch the movie.
Well, that's how they weaponize all of this. But again, let's think about this. This is a man who is pretending to be a woman, but not just pretending to be a woman, right? Actually mocking women and everything it means to be a woman. If you actually look at this Bud Light endorsement that this Dylan Mulvaney posted, he's sitting there, doesn't know anything about sports, is just a bimbo, doesn't know what March Madness is, wearing a dress and pearls. I mean, that is essentially saying that that's what Bud Light thinks of women. That's what Bud Light thinks women are, is somebody who doesn't know anything about sports and just wears ball gowns every day and cares about their hair and nails. It's actually super insulting to women. And as a woman, I find that rather insulting, that that's what that company thinks I am. I'm reduced to. So that's a whole other part of this argument beyond just this trans person. Let's talk about the image that you're portraying of women. I have a real issue with that as well.
Tommy, last thing here before we let you go. When you saw that video of Riley Gaines being attacked by a biological man wearing a dress out in California, speaking at a university, physically assaulted, hit multiple times, basically had to be locked up for 3 hours just to make sure that she was going to be safe. What went through your mind?
Well, this has happened to me at the University of New Mexico, so I know it well. I know what it's like to be barricaded. Thank goodness I wasn't actually physically hit like she was. But here's the thing. We still have to go to college campuses. And I know that Riley will. I know that I will. Other people that have had the attacks and the mobs and the riots, we will still go to college campuses because we cannot let them win. This is what they want. They have been this entitled, protected class of crybaby losers, okay? And we've allowed them to be that because we have no consequences. We can't make these cities and universities punish these people for what they do. I mean, we wish we could. You'd think that that would be, legal recourse here, and I think that Riley is pursuing it. But we just have to keep showing up, right? And it's going to be expensive because of security, and it's going to be sometimes dangerous, but we still have to go because if they allow us or we allow them to intimidate us, then we are no longer in the conversation, and we just can't allow that to happen.
What's coming up on your Outkick show?
Oh, well, tomorrow I'm very excited because I have Congressman Jim Jordan, who has just been sued by Alvin Bragg. He's going to be in studio with me in Nashville tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to sitting down with him. He's a patriot. He's a warrior. I got to tell you guys, I think Jim Jordan is a rock star in our party, and every time I talk to him, I'm super impressed. So I'm excited he's going to be in studio with me tomorrow night.
Check out Tommy Lahren is Fearless on Outkick. It streams at 7 o'clock on Outkick's YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also find Tommy on Fox News. Tommy Lahren, thank you so much.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
South side, westbound 465, stop and go traffic from I-65. Then gets really bad after 31. Stopped over to Harding Street and then to the White River because of a stall blocking the right lane. Northbound 65, stop and go south side from Raymond Street up to the south split. You turn west, you're slow out to west. And then inbound 65, stop and go traffic 21st Street to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Lowe's. Springfest is here at Lowe's. Save big on all you need for spring, like mulch, paint, and outdoor power equipment for your home. Shop Lowe's today because Lowe's knows home improvement. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Sunshine 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hey, if your home is 20 years or older like mine is, actually mine's like 40 years, Window Nation has the perfect offer for you to help increase the value of your home. Get 0% financing for 5 years for a brand new Window Nation windows that are energy efficient. 0 interest for 5 years. Plus, you get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Protect and increase the value of your home today. Don't wait. 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows for free. And it's any style of window from Window Nation, and there's no limit. Now, if that's not enough, how about this? Pay 0 interest for 5 years. 0 for 5 years. This is an amazing deal that you're going to save thousands of dollars on, but you have to call Window Nation right now. If you want to lock the deal in, if you have any questions, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com, tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
What if you didn't have to continue working to live a lifestyle you're happy with? What if you could spend the rest of your life doing what you want to do when you want to do it, not worrying about others claiming your time and energy? Aspiring retirees want to know how to achieve the work-optional lifestyle. A much better question is, who can help you achieve this lifestyle? Working because you want to, not because you have to, is financial freedom. This is Brian Singer. My friend and colleague Casey Weed, the founder of Howard Bailey Financial, wrote a best-selling book titled Job Optional. I'm excited to be part of a team that has developed and refined a proprietary process designed to help people who are still working create a job-optional lifestyle. The Howard Bailey Retire with Purpose framework looks at 5 key areas of your financial life and then informs your choices to design a lifestyle as unique as you are. Retire with Purpose puts all the pieces of the puzzle together in a process designed to bring predictability and purpose to your financial life. We're not all things to all people. We are all things to some people. This means we primarily work with people who understand you don't need to know how, you just need to know who. Who knows how to fit all the pieces of the puzzle together to support your one-of-a-kind lifestyle? Who can do that for you and do it so well that that advisor team is the last team you will ever need or want? We work with people who expect their relationship with us to be transformational rather than transactional. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a retirement readiness review and see how the Retire with Purpose process might transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved. Job Optional was a #1 Amazon bestseller in retirement planning on 7/2/19 and a Wall Street Journal ebook bestseller on 8/9/19.
Now is the time to hire the only agent I'd trust to sell my home, Mark Deedle. Maybe you need a bigger home for your office or a growing family. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Take Samantha in Fairland. Her father passed away. She needed to sell his home and estate. Wasn't sure where to start. Heard about Mark Deedle on the radio, called up to see what they could do. They made it easy, handled everything with compassion and professionalism. Home sold in 1 day for cash and closed in under 3 weeks.
If you listened the other day, you heard Mark Deedle come on our show, and this dude knows his stuff. And he's the only one that we recommend because of the guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees he will sell your home or he'll buy it. That, my friends, is a guarantee. So call Mark Deedle today. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hubler makes it easy to get your perfect car or truck. Get your vehicle your way. They'll help you pre-order a vehicle built just for you. Visit drivehubler.com.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I am going to run a couple stories by you. You tell all of us if this story is anything or not. Is this anything? An Oregon woman was arrested for slapping a middle school kid in the face while attending the school's career day.
In the face!
Police say Ellen Sawo was talking to a class when she got upset, started swearing at students, and then slapped one of the kids. Here's Tom Harper, a representative for the police department, talking about what happened.
The day is supposed to be a day about learning about different careers and getting kids excited about what possibilities there are for them in the future. You know, unfortunately, this is probably a day that they won't forget for a while for unfortunate reasons. I've worked in Lake Oswego for almost 25 years, and I'm not familiar with this kind of thing ever happening in my time there.
Yeah, it's something. It's not okay, never okay to touch somebody else's kid. I don't care what they're doing. I don't know what the circumstances were in the classroom. Maybe the middle schoolers were being, disruptive, but you gotta keep it cool. Especially if this person was another person's mother, another kid's mom. You know, usually at these career days, it's other students' parents that come to these, right?
Correct.
I just can't imagine the circumstance to where she would anybody would smack a middle schooler on the face.
I'm going to raise my hand.
Across the face. What's that?
So it was career day, correct?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Dana White just start a professional slapping league? So maybe, just maybe, they were preparing kids for a life in mixed martial arts in the professional slapping league.
What? Remind people what the professional slapping league is, because that is a real thing.
I don't know what it's officially called, but two people face off and they just slap each other in the face as hard as they possibly can, and they're judged on how well you don't get knocked down.
Power slap.
They judge you on your reaction to said slap. This is a new thing brought to you by the people who bring you the UFC.
So you're saying the woman that was arrested was actually working for the Power Slap League, the world's premier slap fighting organization, and that's what this is really all about.
Can you prove that she wasn't?
I probably can, yes. If I dig a little deeper, I could probably absolutely disprove that 100%.
I just see how mouthy some of these middle school kids are.
Yeah,
like Chris Rock once said in a stand-up, like when it comes to OJ, I don't condone what he did, but I understand.
Yeah.
Some of these kids are just mouthy, and they probably deserved it. I'm just throwing that out there.
You see a lot of these kids. You see it on Twitter a lot. A lot of these this footage of people with iPhones, kids with iPhones facing off against their teachers, getting in their teachers' faces.
Right.
Things like that.
And these kids are big and strong now, even in middle school.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Is this anything? Here's a self-professed car thief with advice on how to prevent tweakers from stealing your car.
How to keep your car from getting stolen from somebody who has an existing Grand Theft Auto felony on their record. Park near windows. Park somewhere that is an eye view of windows. Get a club. It's a deterrent. It keeps them away. No tweaker is taking the time to saw through your club. I promise you that. 2009. If you have a car that was made before then, I would be very careful, because you have the type of car that the person who's wanting to steal it, would steal. Your new high-tech cars that have all of these gadgets and everything, they don't want those because they know they're going to get caught. The first thing that a tweaker, which might I say is one of the number one demographics of people that's going to try to steal your car, they don't want cars like that, because in their head, it has a GPS in it. It's too nice. The alarm's going to go off. I'm not going to be able to get in and out safely. If you could take a peek into a tweaker's brain, you'd see exactly why they do not want your car.
This is coming from a former tweaker, right? Former meth addict. Yes, this is something. And she mentioned the club. The club has been around for 40 years, I feel like. The club is something you extend on your steering wheel. But we all know, we had that story last week of the person that carjacked somebody with the club engaged. And it didn't go far because it could only go backwards and forwards, because you can't turn the steering wheel with the club engaged.
Right.
So apparently the club still works.
Now, they can steal your car, drive straight, and crash your car, but the club was in place. So did the club really work then, is my question. Like, if you're looking out the window and you see your car being driven off and it slams into, like, a brick wall, did the club really do anything?
That's a good point. No.
It's like having a really expensive car alarm. Oh, that's great. I could hear my car being stolen and driven down the street. Fantastic. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's talk about mobile users getting priority over T-Mobile home internet users, shall we? You don't know them. Why should they take your internet? I get it. We're raised to share, but always coming in second, paying to be taken advantage of? No thank you. With Xfinity, there's only one priority, and that is YOU. So come on, people, say yes to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get started with 200 megabit per second Xfinity Internet with Wi-Fi equipment included. It's all just $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Or learn more about speeds up to a gig. That's up to 36 times faster than T-Mobile home internet. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Life is all about enjoying the little moments. Don't miss out on them because of unexpected heart issues. At Community Health Network, you receive heart care you can trust. From simple screenings to life-saving diagnostic and interventional cardiology services, we offer it all, so you can get back to the moments that matter. Learn more about our services at ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Blaming the owner. 79 degrees, sunny downtown. All clear on your radar. It's going to stay that way. You've got a low 48 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. Richmond Mayor Dave Snow wants the owner of a plastics recycling facility held accountable after the building caught fire Tuesday afternoon.
And everything that's ensued here, the fire, the damages, the risk that our first responders have taken and the risk the citizens are under are the responsibility of that negligent business owner.
It's still burning now, but firefighters have it under control. People who live nearby have had to evacuate their homes because of air quality concerns. Richmond Community Schools have canceled another day of classes because of smoke from that fire. The school district already decided to cancel classes today with e-learning planned instead. That schedule continues tomorrow. The 911 calls from Monday's mass shooting in Louisville were released today.
And how do you know you have an active shooter on the site?
I just watched it.
How'd you watch? You watched it on a Teams meeting?
Yes, we were having a board meeting.
5 people died in the Louisville bank shooting and several others were injured. The shooter was killed by police. A prayer vigil is being held in the city tonight. Tennessee Democrat Justin Pearson is headed back to the State House.
Yeah, so the message for all the people in Nashville who decided to expel us. You can't expel hope.
The Shelby County Commission voted Wednesday to reappoint Pearson back to the seat he was removed from last week. Pearson and fellow Democrat Representative Justin Jones were expelled from the House by the GOP majority for leading a protest against gun violence on the floor of the chamber. And at your stock report today, the Dow dropping 38 points to 33,646. The NASDAQ down 102 to 11,929. And the S&P 500 dropping 16 points to 4,091. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-924-4418. 800-924-4418. 800-924-4418.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
With traffic at 434, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison, still cleared south side. Westbound 465 after Harding. The traffic is not cleared. We'll stop and go back to 65. Eastbound 72 downtown. Stop and go from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Northeast side, eastbound 465 jams big time before Westfield Boulevard over to I-69. Northbound 465 on the northwest side. Stop and go from 79th up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. One last spectacular day as our high temperature climbs up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Make your money work for you. At Busey Bank, we understand the importance of saving for the future. Our CD specials offer a competitive, secure, short-term option to help give your savings a boost. Visit Busey.com/CD rates or call 1-800-67-BUSEY today. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868.
Hey folks, it's Abdul, and I'm running for mayor of Indianapolis. Now, I've lived in the city for nearly 20 years, and I've seen the city at its best, and I've seen Indy at its worst, and lately, been a lot more worse. Record murders and record potholes. We can't expect different results if we re-elect the same people who are responsible for our city's problems. So go to AbdulForIndy.com and read about our plans to take a tough but smart approach to dealing with crime. Read about our creative approach to dealing with road funding, and learn how we can restore public trust in government. Everyone, regardless of zip code, deserves the right to live in a neighborhood with safe streets and good roads. It's time to try something different. Paid for by Abdul for Indy.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. I like the guy. He's forming what they call a, quote, exploratory committee to run for president. The slogan for his campaign, or I should say his potential campaign, is, quote, faith in America. Seems like a happy guy to me. You watch these commercials and we'll play some of these clips, Hammer. I see a message of unity and faith and hope, whereas, you contrast that with Donald Trump with more aggressive and in your face in attack mode, right?
Right. So the tweet that the senator put out this morning announcing his exploratory committee reads, quote, I will never back down in defense of the conservative values that make America exceptional. That's why I'm announcing my exploratory committee for President of the United States. This fight is personal. I want every American to have the same opportunities that I had. Now, that last little part there, the same opportunities that I had. I remember when he gave the speech at the RNC, the last time they had a convention, and the main line in Tim Scott's speech was, my family in a lifetime went from cotton to Congress.
Yeah.
And there were people, some in this building, Nige, but mainly the political left, that were calling him a sellout, calling him an Uncle Tom, calling him a token, all because he just happens to have an R next to his name. What happened to that peaceful, tolerant left? Whenever there's a black conservative, boy, the, quote, peaceful, tolerant left turns pretty nasty real quick.
Remember Larry Elder and the recall of Governor Newsom? The black face of white supremacy, as quoted by the LA Times? Despicable.
So he put a video attached to his announcement tweet today. We're going to play you a couple clips here. The video is about 3.5 minutes long, but we got a couple different sound bites that I thought were interesting. This is South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
Joe Biden and the radical left have chosen a culture of grievance over greatness. They're promoting victimhood instead of personal responsibility, and they're indoctrinating our children to believe we live in an evil country. And all too often, when they get called out for their failures, they weaponize race to divide us, to hold on to their power. When I fought back against their liberal agenda, they called me a prop, a token, because I disrupt their narrative. I threaten their control. They know the truth of my life disproves their lies.
So that was a little bit about the video. So half of it was probably looking at the political left and the Biden administration and how dysfunctional things are. The other half of his video, the part that I kind of liked the most, and this is something I think Republicans have to do a better job on, what do you want to do? How do you want to make things look if you are given the keys to the American people?
I will defend the Judeo-Christian foundation our nation is built on and protect our religious liberty. I will stand up to communist China and restore opportunities for hard-working Americans to thrive and prosper. I will fight to give every parent a choice in education so their children have a better chance in life. I will defend our borders and our neighborhood streets, and I will protect our most fundamental right, the right to life itself. I bear witness that America can do for anyone what she has done for me, but we must rise up to the challenges of our time. This is a fight we must win, and that will take faith. Faith in God, faith in each other, and faith in America. God bless our United States of America, and God bless you.
You're going to try to convince me he's not going to run for president? Tim Scott? And let's not forget, he does this, he announces this exploratory committee the same day he's in Iowa today. What is Iowa? One of the first states, right, in terms of the Republican nominating process, very important. And, when you say exploratory committee, that means he's now able to raise money that's going to pay for his travel, that he's going to be able to raise money that he'll be able to transfer to his presidential campaign if indeed he announces. He's in Iowa today. He's in he's in New Hampshire tomorrow, and then it's back to South Carolina for his faith convention.
It's a very early primary state.
Tell me that's not the schedule of somebody running for president right there. And I liked those. I liked whatever those videos were supposed to be. He's a happy guy to me.
So
I'm grateful.
What's the national temperature on Tim Scott, though? Because it feels like Donald Trump right now, of those who have officially declared, which we're not going to talk about DeSantis here because he has not officially declared, but Donald Trump seems like he's got the most support. And then there's a big drop-off. So where does Tim Scott fall in the category of Nikki Haley, Ramaswamy? Now you've got Tim Scott in the mix. There's chatter that Pompeo might jump in this thing, maybe Chris Christie, and then who knows, Nikki down Haley. The road, I think probably Ron DeSantis.
I say the more the merrier. Give us some choices. Let us decide. I don't want it to be just one guy or two guys.
I think the more people in the field hands the primary to Donald Trump, because I think more people in the field pull the votes away from Ron DeSantis. Maybe. DeSantis, to me, is the only person that can beat Donald Trump. I think he's the only one. And I like Tim Scott. I would love to see him in a high-profile position. I just don't know if the national, excitement is there for Tim Scott.
Well, maybe some of these guys are angling for a position in a future Republicans cabinet if they win the president of the United States, if they win the presidency. Maybe they're pulling a Pete Buttigieg.
Right.
Or maybe DeSantis, or maybe Tim Scott would make a great VP at some point for one of these top-tier candidates. It is awkward that I believe Nikki Haley and Tim Scott, both from South Carolina,
right,
have both endorsed Trump for 2024 at one point before they decided. And now we're saying Tim Scott's not officially declared either. But it looks like it.
Right. If you've got the exploratory committee, how often has the committee came back and said, man, you need to sit this out. There's a better chance of Clay Aiken becoming president than you are. Just sit down, relax, go back to doing senator things. More often than not, they come back and say, let's make a run at this thing. But I'm telling you, the more folks that are in the GOP field, and I hear where you're coming from. As a voter, you want options, right? You want as many people out there, and you want to make your vote count. But the math adds up for Donald Trump winning in a landslide if there's a big field. Because the Trump voter, they're set. They're not changing their mind.
Okay.
They are locked into Donald Trump. Everybody else, I think, can waver just a little bit.
But is the math in line for a general election?
I don't think it is.
Using the same polls and stats and math for a general election and a primary?
I think Donald Trump loses a general election right now. And I hate saying that. Trust me, I love Donald Trump's policies. I voted for him twice. I got everything I wanted out of a Donald Trump presidency. If he's the nominee, I'll be more than happy to vote for him again. I just have concerns that he can't win North Carolina, that he's not going to flip Georgia, that he's going to lose Pennsylvania, and that's a problem. I don't see a path to 270 right now. Maybe things change. Maybe. Who knows? Biden might not even be the nominee, but I don't see a path to 270 for Donald Trump in the general right now. So these are the things you need to think about as this primary process gets rolling. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could get a 35% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. We're believers in Bill, and now we're clients too. Not only will you get a 35% bonus, you'll sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company that's been in business for 140 years and has $2.5 trillion in assets.
To learn how you could get your 35% bonus, call 317-932-9912. Reach out to Bill Demery, your retirement guy, at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
1 point, 1 swing, 1 tackle, 1 step. 1 trusted hospital system for orthopedic care. Franciscan Health's orthopedic, sports medicine, and rehabilitation teams offer state-of-the-art treatments, including total joint replacement, physical therapy, and the latest techniques and interventions for a variety of conditions, including arthritis and orthopedic sports-related injuries, keeping you in step, 1 step at a time. Find a full range of orthopedic care in one place. Go to franciscanhealth.org/orthocare.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville invites competitive golfers to enter the inaugural first annual Bobo Link Open Saturday, July 8th. 18 holes, USGA rules. First prize $6,000, second prize $3,000, third prize $1,000. Certified USGA 6 handicap or lower are eligible. The first annual Bobo Link Open Saturday, July 8th at Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville. To find out more, visit antlerpointgolf.com. That's antlerpointgolf.com. Spell point with an E.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
All right, Matt Baer, what's the latest?
Looking in eastbound 70, stop and go to downtown Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois, and northbound 65 drags into the south split from Raymond, turn west, and you are stop and go out to west. Inbound 70 slows at Sherman, and inbound 65 stop and go 21st to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel and Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Sunshine and 79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
So, Nige, remember a couple years ago, Taco Bell decided to get cute and get rid of the Mexican pizza. Remember that?
Big mistake. Was that during the Rona, when they had to slim down the menu? Or was it even before that?
I can't remember. Feels like it was vid. So they got rid of it for about a year, and there were people like myself that said this is horse bleep. Because I was a big Mexican pizza fan.
There were petitions.
And we raised enough hell that it ultimately came back. Maybe it was a marketing ploy, but I feel like customer outrage was a big part of that coming back to the menu. Now, Taco Bell has another item coming back to the menu. I'm not as passionate about this one. Maybe you were.
No.
The nacho fries are coming back tomorrow.
I don't need nacho fries. Just give me the basics with Taco Bell. The Mexican pizza. Give me the chalupa supreme with the taco. Turn it into a soft taco, not the hard shell. And that's good enough for me, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I like tacos. I like nachos. I'm not going to Taco Bell for fries.
Are you going for breakfast to Taco Bell? Breakfast tacos are...
Oh, no, I can get diarrhea at home. But I don't like it when these stores try to go out of their comfort zone. I don't want, KFC making hot dogs and hamburgers. You're the chicken people. And I don't want Taco Bell dabbling in the French fry market. Nacho fries are a little different, but I'm not as passionate about this, but a lot of people are.
You were critical of Chick-fil-A when they put out the macaroni and cheese, which I will say is pretty good.
I will admit when I'm wrong.
You come around on the macaroni and cheese from Chick-fil-A.
It's pretty damn good. It is pretty good as a side. Yes, that falls into the exception category, but
I got to tell you, Chick-fil-A, I know we're on this Taco Bell thing. Real quick, on Friday, I took my daughter to Chick-fil-A in the middle of the afternoon, at 2 o'clock. Packed in Whitestown. Sat down indoors, and the drive-thru is packed. I don't know what it is about that place, but people love it. And I don't feel like the same excitement is there for Taco Bell.
It's a different type of person in line at Taco Bell, I believe.
Really? Are we stereotyping and generalizing the customer base of the two different fast food restaurants?
I feel like as an informant who has been in both camps, right? I've been in line at Chick-fil-A.
You better be careful here.
I've been in line at Taco Bell. It's a little different at Taco Bell. Things get a little loud at Taco Bell sometimes.
People get into arguments.
Which brings us to great moments in Taco Bell history. Here's exactly what we're talking about. This is when there was a car at the drive-thru, and it ordered $300 worth of Taco Bell, and the woman behind him in line decided to stream herself live on social media, bashing the person in front of her.
Oh my God. Yo! The reason this line is so long, because this ordered $300 worth of tacos, and didn't get Taco Bell no heads up! $300 worth of tacos! That's like 100 tacos!
The thing is, I agree with her.
I'm with you. You got to give him a heads up. You don't just pull into the drive-thru and order $300 worth of tacos.
Right. And then the line gets backed up all the way out to the street. I'm with this woman 100%. Great moments in Taco Bell history. This happened in Alabama. A very popular Taco Bell location caught fire, burned to the ground. But the next day, some very passionate customers came by and had a vigil.
We're just out here giving remembrance. I mean, I think it was the best Taco Bell in Montgomery.
I can't eat here.
I felt like I lost a family member.
Well, I'm hoping we get closure tonight and we can move on to the next cause. But we're here supporting Taco Bell tonight, and that's what's important.
I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. I got to go all the way to Perry Hill to get some Taco Bell.
Well, right now, we're here. We're going to move on to the next cause, but right now we're here to pay homage to Taco Bell.
Candlelight vigil at the Taco Bell. Great moments in Taco Bell history.
Man, I love this country, man.
This is when David Letterman was still on the air. By the way, today's Dave's birthday, 75 years old. But when he was still doing the late night show, where he was actually doing comedy and not just being mean political guy, he ran the Taco Bell drive-thru in New Jersey, I believe it was. Take a listen.
Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. What do you want?
Hi, can I have a kid's meal with a soft taco?
Are you Mexican?
No, I'm not.
If you're Mexican, the meal's half off. All right, no, slow down, ma'am. I am very, very tired. I am just getting over the worst case of stomach flu I've ever had in my life.
You sound familiar.
I'm the manager, Kenny.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. We'll get your food. You'll be on your way.
Are you Howard Stern?
Great moments in Taco Bell history. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This is another ad about hiring. But it's not just another ad about hiring. R.E. Diamond & Associates has opened a special position, a construction project manager for the right person. If you're well-versed in all construction methodologies and procedures, MEPT, and have an analytical mind, this might be the right fit for you. If you bring the experience, deep understanding of the construction process, and outstanding communication skills, R.E. Diamond will meet you with competitive pay, a great benefits package, and a work culture and environment that's second to none.
Hi, this is James Darnell, Vice President of Information and Communications Technology with R.E. Diamond & Associates. We were just voted one of the best places to work in Indiana. Our expertise, integrity, and organizational culture make us a great place to continue building your career. We emphasize service and respect for our clients and pride ourselves on having the majority of our clients as repeat ones.
To find out more, Google R.E. Diamond. That's R.E. Diamond. Or to speak with an R.E. Diamond representative, call 317-634-4672.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer. Your basement is a very important part of your home. Whether it's finished or unfinished, there's nothing worse than a wet, unusable basement. Swanco's basement waterproofing will fix your wet, unusable basement permanently and forever. Protect your greatest asset, your home, by waterproofing your basement today. Call the real, local, family-owned waterproofing experts at Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or swancollc.com.
Hey, look, if you want to win at retirement, when you can bring your dreams to life, you need a strategy. You need a team of people working with you to plan, experts who have the advantage of perspective and experience and expertise to help you win and have a successful retirement. That's Howard Bailey Financial.
Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle one day. Whatever your vision of retirement is, whether that's work optional, full-on retirement, maybe moving somewhere else, let the team from Howard Bailey customize a plan specifically for you. So if you're ready to live your best life in retirement, go see the Howard Bailey difference. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Roofs leak, pipes burst, and toilets overflow. When you're in over your head, Michaelis keeps theirs. A rescue-ready water damage team that responds around the clock. With more than 35 years of experience, they're wet everywhere, except behind the ears. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Today's kids and teenagers are facing more challenges than generations before. Culture is questioning basic, unchanging truths. Many parents are looking for direction to lead their kids and teenagers onto right paths. I'm Tina Pavey, Director of Next Gen Ministries at Life Church. We believe parents have what it takes to lead their kids and teenagers on a path that leads to life. And each Life Church campus is eager to partner with parents. For more information, visit one of the Life Church campuses or go to lifechurchin.com. Parents, you can do this. We will help you.
Coming up in 2 minutes, why some residents in Richmond are having to leave town. A man accused of killing a pizza delivery driver in Indianapolis last month has been arrested, and changes could be coming to the way you vote by mail. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A push to reverse a decades-old FDA approval. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. 69 congressional Republicans are asking the U.S. Appeals Court to allow a ban of a widely used abortion pill.
The lawmakers, which include 11 senators, argue the FDA's, quote, unlawful approval and deregulation of the abortion drug mifepristone undermines, quote, Congress's public policy considerations and safeguards for patient safety. Republican South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace broke with her party this week when she echoed calls from many Democrats for the FDA to ignore the judge's ruling. Democrats argue that many people rely on the drug and the FDA's drug approval process for access to important medications.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. Justin Pearson, one of 2 Democratic Black Tennessee state lawmakers expelled over gun reform protest, is heading back to the state capitol. The Shelby County Commission voting this afternoon to reinstate him to his elected office until a special election is held. The Nashville Metro Council voting earlier this week to reinstate Justin Jones, the other lawmaker expelled by the Republican-led Tennessee House. Before traveling to Dublin today, President Biden was in Belfast, Northern Ireland, marking the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, which ended decades of sectarian violence.
President Biden says the strength of that accord is now being tested amid a political stalemate and post-Brexit dispute.
And now I know better than most how hard democracy can be at times. We in the United States have firsthand experience how fragile even long-standing democratic institutions can be.
The president says Northern Ireland will not go back. The enemies of peace will not prevail.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Consumer prices rose less than expected in March, just 0.1% from February. Year-over-year, inflation slowed to 5%, the lowest in almost 2 years. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Having to leave town. Sunny, 79 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. We've got a clear radar low tonight, dropping to the upper 40s. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Hoosiers living in Richmond are still being told to evacuate near where a massive fire is burning. Kurt Darling reports.
Richmond Mayor Dave Snow says they are maintaining restrictions around the plastic recycling facility where the fire started, sending thick and toxic smoke into the air. Snow saying that they had been to court with the owner of the facility before this happened.
We were aware that what was operating here was a fire hazard. That business owner is fully responsible for all of this. We have the unsafe building order and the recorded court documents.
Fire investigators hope to get a better look at just how the fire started as they continue to put it out. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Richmond Community Schools have already canceled classes for Thursday after doing the same thing today. They're going with e-learning instead. One person is dead after they were hit by a car this morning on the northeast side. IMPD says they got a call about someone hit just before 6 a.m. near the 46th and Emerson intersection. Officers say the man was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver stayed behind to cooperate with police. A man accused of killing a pizza delivery driver last month on the east side has been arrested, according to IMPD. Stephen Flynn was the man shot outside of a home on Priscilla Drive March 30th. Officers say they arrested a 33-year-old man. They have not said who the man is. That's for investigative reasons, say police. Mail-in voting in Indiana might be a lot different for the elections coming up in November. State House Republicans have pushed through a bill that would overhaul the process of getting a mail-in absentee ballot.
It requires that these applications for absentee ballots by mail be accompanied by either a photocopy of a government-issued photo ID or one of 4 numbers.
State Senator Eric Cook, who supports the bill. Democrats like State Senator J.D. Ford say the bill will make it more difficult for elderly Hoosiers to vote. The bill now sits on Governor Holcomb's desk waiting for his signature. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Storm season is coming, and storms in Indiana can be brutal. And your siding defends your home from the forces of the wind and the rain, so you want to make sure your home is protected with the best roofing and siding possible. You need Moss Roofing because they use high-quality James Hardy siding, and it withstands our Indiana weather. This fiber cement siding is strong and actually mimics traditional siding options. Moss Roofing installs James Hardy siding to help ensure your home's exterior is attractive for years to come. And Moss Roofing has got you covered in every way. They believe in honesty, integrity, and quality service, and they do great work right here in Central Indiana. Your roofing, your siding, insulation, all of it installed and priced perfectly with Moss Roofing. Contact Moss Roofing at MOSS, mossroofing.com, or call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or online at Moss, MOSS, mossroofing.com, and tell them Tony Katz sent you.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison Hendricks, westbound 70, stop and go off 267 for about 4 miles at the Joppa. And then we're looking at eastbound 72 downtown, stop and go Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 jams at 21st to the north split. Northbound 65 slowing to the south split. You turn west, you are stop and go out to Harding. And then eastbound 465, a mess starting at Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop this Spring savings sale. Grand Appliance for unbeatable prices, extra savings, and fast professional delivery. Learn more at grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance, expert since 1930. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. One last spectacular day as our high temperature climbs up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Today's CPI report marking the 23rd straight month. Inflation has been at or above 5%. CPI, Consumer Price Index, how much stuff is, basically. And, yeah, we're looking at, almost 2 years now as 5% inflation or more.
23rd straight month, inflation at or above 5.
Hello.
24th straight month of negative real wages. Now, that means the amount of money that you're bringing in compared to the cost of goods and services and everything else. So the March reading of the CPI came out earlier today. And again, not good news, but the Biden administration trying to take some sort of bizarro world victory tour on it.
They've done this every month. It happens all the time.
They raise it up to a unbelievable level, and then it slowly starts to dip, and they look at you and say, you're welcome. Like, how does this make any sense? So on a monthly basis, prices increased by 0.1% compared to February. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that came out earlier today. Core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, jumped 5.6% year over year.
Hello.
And 0.4% compared to February. So I know we're throwing a lot of numbers out here. This is what it really breaks down to. Compared to March of last year, electricity was up 10.2%.
Oh, our electricity and gas bill both are through the roof.
Gas is up 5.5%. How's the grocery bill look, Nigel?
Exploding through the roof. I had to do the when the wife was out of town the other day. I had to go do the grocery shopping. I was sticker shock.
8.4% year over year.
She usually does the shipped, the delivery.
Yes.
And I didn't know how to do that, so I had to go to the grocery store like an idiot and do it.
And you didn't know how to do that either. You're like Mr. Mom at the grocery store.
Let me tell you something. I think I spent like $180 for my stuff. The lady in front of me, she was north of $300.
I get it. Dude, try having 2 teenage boys in the house, man.
Holy crap.
It's ridiculous. Eggs, 36% up. 36% year over year. Bread is up 15%. Baby food's up 7%. Dairy's up almost 11%. Did anybody go on spring break? How did that look for you? Shelter up 8.2%. Airline fares up 18%.
Yeah, everybody I knew drove. Everybody I knew took a 12-hour trip down to Destin. No flying for them.
There is one thing that's down, though. Real average hourly wages.
Oh, wonderful.
Down 0.7%. So all those things that we just rattled off that are more expensive year over year, you're making less money because of it. It's like you've gotten a pay cut from the Biden economic plan. And I think this is why that Gallup poll that came out that said 83% of Americans have a negative view of the economy.
I wonder why. You just rattled off about 10 things that are extraordinarily more expensive than they were last year. 10 necessities, from electricity to gas to shelter to bread. Ridiculous.
Here's a CNN poll, okay? This is not Fox. This is not, OAN. It's not some sort of conservative-friendly outlet. CNN poll. 62% disapprove of Joe Biden's handling of the economy, and only 32% say he deserves to be reelected. That's CNN's poll. So this is a dumpster fire. Don't let anybody from Karine Jean-Pierre to Joe Biden or any of the folks that carry their water try to tell you this is some sort of win today.
I'd like to meet the 32% that thinks he should be reelected.
Now, I'm old enough to remember, Nige, Joe Biden and all of his cronies, they promised us that this inflation would only be temporary.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most everybody's grandma.
Believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. It's highly unlikely that's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. I don't know anybody who's worried about inflation.
I don't know anybody that's worried about inflation.
I don't know anybody that's not worth $5 million that's worried about inflation.
23 straight months. 23 straight months. Inflation has been at or above 5%. Here's another survey that's out there for those of you that are into the numbers. CNBC. Again, not a super friendly conservative outlet. 70% of the people they surveyed are financially stressed, and 58% say they're living paycheck to paycheck right now. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be this way. This country, this administration chose to put us in this position with frivolous, over-the-top spending on ridiculous crap, funding a war to help out a country that doesn't even like us. It doesn't have to be this way. It's ridiculous. And if you ask Joe Biden if he takes any sort of blame for this at all, never forget he gave you these words.
Am I taking blame for inflation? No.
Why not?
Because it was already there when I got here, man.
That guy. That guy is the president of the United States of America.
It wasn't. The ridiculous spending bills, the printing of money. And by the way, Republicans voted for it too.
You're right. You're 100% right. It's easy to just point the finger at the Democrats here because at the time they controlled everything. But there are some weasels in the Republican Party that went along with this. You're absolutely right. Now, last night, we've been talking about this a lot today. Donald Trump had that first sit-down interview with Tucker Carlson. And this was his first sit-down interview after the indictment, after the arraignment, all of that kind of stuff. We've played a lot of sound bites today, but the one we haven't got to yet, I've been saving for this, because we're talking about Joe Biden here. Donald Trump was asked by Tucker Carlson his thoughts about Joe Biden's mental fitness and if he thinks Joe Biden is going to be capable of running for president in 2024.
Look, I watch him just like you do, and I think it's almost inappropriate for me to say it. But I deal with other people. I don't see how it's possible. And it's not an age thing. You know, like I say, I have friends that are 88, 89, 92. Bernie Marcus, Home Depot, is 95. Smart as hell. He's sharp as he was. I mean, he's, mentally, he's not too old. His age, I think they do the age thing because I'm 4 or 5 years behind. They say, this is a way of getting Trump. Let's go home. But there's something wrong. I saw his answer today on television about whether or not he was going to run to a very nice guy named Al Roker. I mean, you can't get a softer question than that. That was a long answer talking about the eggs and the this and that. Look, I don't think he can.
That was a long answer.
Kind of take you back to the days of the COVID pressers right there.
Deborah Burks giving a long-winded 12-minute answer, and then she steps back, and Trump gets on the podium again, looks at her and goes, that was a long answer, Deb. Good information and long answer.
It's a good scarf, long answer. You could tell when he's bored with somebody. He starts getting like his hands are fidgety.
Oh, yeah. Starts kind of looking over at him and cranking his head just a little bit.
It's a long answer. So, again, Donald Trump had that sit down with Tucker Carlson last night, his first official sit-down chat since the arraignment in the Manhattan courtroom. Now, that kind of it kind of sparked a little fire in us here at the Hammer and Nigel show. We thought, you know what? We should start doing sit-down interviews too.
Sure.
So we tasked our producer, Allison, with tracking down various celebrities and having celebrity conversations, celebrity interviews. And Joe Biden was actually Allison's first guest. And now it's producer Allison's celebrity interview.
Mr. President, how bad is the smell from the unisex bathroom by the WIBC studio?
It's almost people can taste it.
Producer Allison's celebrity interview. Well done, Allison. Asking the tough questions, getting the tough answers. Matt Bear, he's got to look at the roads.
Hendricks County westbound 70 stop and go State Road 267 out to the county line of Hendricks and Morgan. Right now, northbound 65 stop and go after Southport Road up to Thompson. Westbound 70 out the south split stop and go traffic out to Hardigan. Eastbound 70 Jam Fest into downtown from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 stop 29th Street to the north split. Traffic sponsored by NTT IndyCar Series. Experience the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach this Sunday, April 16th at 3 o'clock Eastern, live on NBC and Peacock. Watch the fastest cars and the boldest drivers fight to the finish line. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we've got 78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
It's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. Everyone loves a smart investment, and there is no better place to put your money right now than in your home. Window Nation has the perfect offer for anyone with a home at least 20 years old. Protect and increase the value of your home and energy efficiency by installing new Window Nation windows. Window Nation is making it insanely easy to do so with 0% interest for 5 years. Plus, Window Nation will give you 2 windows free with every 2 you purchase.
Go with the window company that has installed nearly 2 million windows, including mine, by installers with over a decade of experience using only top-of-the-line installation materials, which is why 96% of all installations require no follow-up service. Call Window Nation today and lock in these limited-time savings when you need them the most. 866-90-NATION and pay 0 interest for 5 years. The life of your loan, and get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
We always hear commercials about low testosterone. A lot of people talking about testosterone, but you got to do your homework and be sure to go to somewhere you can trust. We recommend Low T Center, where they exclusively specialize in men's wellness. And they check all of your levels. I'm not just talking about testosterone. They determine the cause of the symptoms you're having, whether you're a candidate for low T maybe, or something else like low thyroid or even sleep apnea like I have.
The Low T Center has affordable and convenient options for treatment, including monitored self-inject treatments that ship directly to your home. Or maybe you're looking to get that annual health assessment taken place. The Low T Center is your one-stop shop for all things men's health. They can check everything from your prostate levels, thyroid, liver, kidney functions, and more, and it's covered by most health insurance. LowTCenter.com. Book online, LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Tired of eating at the same old places? Try Jay's Lobster and Fish Market in the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works District, downtown Indy. Named one of Indianapolis Monthly's best restaurants in 2021. Jay's specializes in lobster rolls, but also serves up incredible crab and shrimp rolls. A New England-style seafood shack, bringing a taste of the East Coast home to Indiana. You've got to try it all. Lobster rolls, lobster mac and cheese, lobster grilled cheese, and more. It's all at Jay's Lobster and Fish Market. Visit today.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, save big during our indoor-outdoor sale. Save 50% on Smith Brothers and Lazy Boy. Up to an extra 15% off Hollywood and Berlin Gardens outdoor furniture. And up to $300 off Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Now through Monday, save on everything in the store only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
It's the NRA annual meetings and exhibits at the Indiana Convention Center April 14th to 16th. 14 acres of the latest guns and gear. It's a freedom-filled weekend with activities for the entire family. NRA members and their family get in free. If you're not a member, join at nraam.org.
Traffic and weather brought to you by Insperity, providing scalable HR services, access to better benefits, payroll, and HR technology for over 35 years. Insperity's mission is to help businesses succeed so communities prosper. Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Visit Insperity.com.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Think of those massive, life-changing events. New job, maybe career, a brand new baby to take care of. Maybe your brood has gotten so big that you need a bigger house. Matt Bear here. Hey, all of these are major transitions, a lot for someone to handle. That's where Open Door comes in. When life stores open, let Open Door handle the house. When I sold my home, I just wanted to go, but I didn't have Open Door then, sentencing me to the old-fashioned home selling process, which came with all of the stresses, unplanned showings. The dreaded double move was there. I mean, why just pay mortgage when you could pay mortgage and rent, right? When you sell directly to Open Door, the hassles are gone. Skip the unknown and pick your closing date. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open Door app. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 02061130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
All right, let's get into it, Hammer. A study in Denmark finds that if you ask a guy how big his junk is, he'll exaggerate by about 20%. They did a study on this. So, again, let me repeat for those of you just tuning in. A new study in Denmark says that if you ask a guy how big his junk is, he'll exaggerate by about 20%. Are you okay with this?
No, I'm not okay with this. And there's a couple different bullet points I'd like to address. Number one, that's a very precise number, right? That's a very precise number for measurement. 20%. So is somebody saying that, oh, yes, it's a specific length? Is somebody telling you the exact number? How do you know they exaggerate by 20% if you haven't seen the original one? It's a very odd unit to just, no pun intended, unit and number to mention there, 20%. Like, if you're going to do that, might as well go big, 75, 85.
Yeah, and think about the actual study, the people conducting the study, the people participating in this study. Do they ask them the question, how big is your junk? And then, they give the subject gives the answer, and then do they go into a private room?
I think you have to.
Break out a tape measure?
For science. Absolutely, you have to, for the sake of science. And mind you, I bet these guys have done more for science than Dr. Fauci has.
I was just thinking about that. Gain-of-function research pretty much shut down the entire world for 2 years because of Fauci and his good time party boys at the Wuhan lab. But these guys study, they're doing the real science right here in Denmark.
Remember in the movie Porky's where Pee-wee would measure his every morning, and one day he was upset because it was shrinking? This is why, and again, this is free advice, from me to the Hammer and Nigel show listening audience. You always undersell because you want her to be pleasantly surprised.
Very good.
Even if you've got like a third leg, great gentlemen, idea. You undersell that thing. No, I'm sorry. I've always been really bashful, very shy. It's actually like a tuna can. It's short, but it's really fat, and you're going to be really disappointed. And then, lo and behold, when it's hammer time, you whip that bad boy out. Always undersell, gentlemen.
I apologize to my grandmother, who's probably listening right now.
Mike Pence used to sit in my seat, this seat.
There's a phone scam in Washington State where someone is pretending to be a sergeant. This guy's name's Darren Moss, Sergeant Darren Moss from the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. They even accidentally called the real Sergeant Moss. Here is the voicemail.
You reached Sergeant Darren Moss with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If it is not an emergency, please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I will get back with you. Thank you.
Hey, Darren, I'm just calling you back because you said that there was something going on.
And that was the real Darren Moss calling back the voicemail left by the scammer Darren Moss.
Are you okay with that kind of line of questioning there? The what that policeman did?
I'm okay with him fighting back, yes, but I'm not okay with scammers because, listen, not everybody's going to have the same level of fun as the real Sergeant Darren Moss here. There's a lot of old ladies, old guys, and that fall for this kind of stuff.
And they always do. It's a problem. It's a huge problem to this day, to where, like, even the Attorney General here of this state is looking at scam phone callers all the time.
And the other thing that really stinks about scammers, they will use tragedies to try to tug at your heartstrings. Like anytime there's a tornado or a hurricane, there's somebody with a fake group, right? They set up a bogus charity and they try to get your dollars to come in. So it's not always just some dude in Jamaica calling you. It could be somebody here in your own hometown.
Again, Attorney General Rakita had to send out a mass press release saying, talking about the scammers and potential scamming in Sullivan and with the tornadoes a couple of weeks ago.
So this brings us to great moments in scam call history.
Okay.
This is when one of these loser scammers called a news anchor. Now, they didn't know that she was a news anchor, but she has an amazing way, a little trick, if you will, to kind of scare the hell out of these people.
Hello, I'm going to speak to Jeanette Reyes.
This is she?
Hello, Jeanette. I'm calling in regards to an outstanding warrant we have for your arrest.
I didn't know about that. Can I just pay for it now?
Yes, we can clear up this matter if you're able to make a payment right now with a debit or credit card. Go ahead with the number, please.
It's 3, 2, 1. Good evening. We are live on television right now with an investigation into scam callers. We have the FBI on the line. They are tracking this phone number as we speak. Sir, what is your full name again?
Got rid of him real quick.
That's pretty good.
That was impressive.
Great moments in scam call history.
Yeah.
This is when you, Nige, received a voicemail, and we decided to have a little fun and call him back.
Hello. Thank you for calling. Please stay on the line while I connect you to one of our representatives.
Please note that your call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance or training purposes.
Hello. It's my favorite part.
Hi, this is Hannah. How may I help you?
Yeah, I was calling to pay off my debt. Got a call about debt collecting.
All right, who am I speaking with?
This is Bueller. First name Ferris.
Interesting.
F-E-R. It's two R's.
Yeah, what can I actually help you with?
Well, no, I'm calling to pay off my debt. Would you like my Social Security number first or my credit card number first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and give me your social.
Okay. 812-35-6537.
And you're not in our system, sir, so I hope you have a good day.
Scammer. I should have thrown a niner in there.
Niner?
Yeah.
Great moments in scam call history, Nige. That wasn't the only time where you had received a voicemail and decided to call them back.
Hello?
Hello?
You.
Forgot about this one.
That was it?
That's all we get? Call back.
You.
Hey, man.
Great moments in scam call history. We've got Tony Kennett coming up next of the Daily Signal and the Tony Kennett Show. Right now, Harrison Silcox has a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's not safe. Sunny, 79 degrees on Monument Circle. Clear skies now, and clear skies expected tonight. The low dropping down to about 48. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. The black smoke rising from a burning plastics recycling facility in Richmond could be impacting the town's air quality.
Any smoke, whether it has, benzene or any of the other compounds, is dangerous because of the particulate matter.
Christine Stinson, executive director of the Wayne County Health Department. The massive fire started Tuesday afternoon, and several people who live nearby had to evacuate. The cause is still being investigated. A nurse will spend the next 3 years in prison after stealing pain medications and using them on herself. 38-year-old Jennifer Adams pled guilty to tampering with consumer products, according to the Department of Justice. She was taking drugs like fentanyl and morphine while working at Franciscan Health in Crawfordsville between 2018 and 2020. Adams will face another 3 years of probation after prison. Louisville mass shooter Connor Sturgeon's roommate called his mother before Monday's bank shooting to warn her that he was up to something. She called Louisville Metro Police.
I don't know what to do. I need your help. I think he's never hurt anyone. He's a really good kid. Please don't punish him.
Okay, he said he was headed to the Old National Bank. Did he say what he was going to do there?
I don't know. I don't know anything. We don't even own guns. I don't know where he would have gotten a gun.
Minutes later, Sturgeon was shot and killed by police. 5 people died. Several more were hurt, including a police officer. Sturgeon was originally from Indiana. The second of 2 black Tennessee lawmakers expelled from the State House have been voted back in on an interim basis. Fox's Gernal Scott reports.
We have 7 aye votes.
The item passes.
With that, the Shelby County Commission sent ousted lawmaker Justin Pearson back to Nashville to rejoin colleague Justin Jones in the House chamber. After the vote, now interim Representative Pearson said he takes hope for gun reform back to the state capitol and sends a message to those who voted him out.
You can't expel justice. You can't expel our voice. And you sure can't expel our fight.
Gernal Scott, Fox News.
With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
Stop and go traffic, Hendricks County, westbound 70 State Road 267, almost to State Road 39. Inbound 65 completely stopped into downtown from 29th Street to the North Split. Eastbound 70, stop and go Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. South side of parking lot, westbound at 465 from I-65 over to Bluff Road. And then eastbound 465, stop and go from 70 to Harding. Crash 82nd ahead, another one Kessler at Parker. Crash downtown 10th at Meridian. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot. Cabinets, vanities, and more Thursday through Saturday, only 3217 Shadeland Avenue. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature of 49 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. One last spectacular day as our high temperature climbs up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Tony Kennett is an investigative reporter for the Daily Signal, also the host of the Tony Kennett Show. So, Tony, there was a story out of California where the school board was basically trying to keep secret that they were encouraging a child to change their sex. They were telling the child, you know what? We agree with you. You're not this. You should be something else. The mom didn't find out about this until way later and secondhand because she was battling, I think it was a cancer treatment.
Breast cancer.
And now there's a lawsuit involved here. Take me through your thoughts.
So this mom who was currently who at the time was battling her father dying, was battling breast cancer, her elementary school age daughter, so late elementary school, this is not a high school student, went to the counselor at school just to, talk out a lot of the stress that she was having. And this counselor basically convinced the child to change genders. And though the child told the counselor, this is according to Aurora Regino, the mother, that she wanted to include Aurora, wanted to include the mom in this conversation about mental health and gender identity, the counselor ignored it. And the mother made a point when speaking to the Chico Unified School District board meeting, saying, because you guys excluded me, my child had to endure all of this alone. Had to endure all of the mental stress, the struggling, the bullying alone because you guys did not include me. And so the Center for American Liberty is filing suit against the Chico Unified School District. And I say good. Sue every one of these schools that uses children as political props to hide gender so some random transgender affirming counselor can get her jollies.
It sounds awfully familiar, by the way. Here,
does it now?
Took place the past couple of months here in Central Indy, right?
Yeah, and there are several schools in Indiana that are doing so. Of course, talking about New Prairie up near South Bend, South Madison, and Pendleton. And Parents Defending Education had a March study that cited almost 9,000 schools across all 50 states have policies in which parents are allowed to be kept in the dark if the child is struggling with transgender issues.
I don't get it. So, but back to this Chico Unified School District. This is in Northern California. The school board. So this mom got up to speak in front of the school board. And I've watched this video. There's a bunch of transgender people behind her, rolling their eyes and shaking their heads. They're wearing their masks still.
Yeah, Lindsey Briggs with the weird anarchist COVID mask going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the reaction before we get to the actual vote by the school board? What was the reaction from some of the people in this audience?
So this mom gets up and pours her heart out before the school board and says, look, while I was struggling with the loss in the family, with breast cancer, my child was fighting this alone because you didn't tell me. And the transgender activists behind her, including Professor Lindsey Briggs of Chico University, who, by the way, is an Indiana native and an absolute nutcase, were rolling her eyes. Look, I've been on camera in the background several times. You pull a straight face, even if you have incredible scorn for what the person is saying. Why would you roll your eyes when a mom is talking about being separated from her daughter while she was dealing with breast cancer? Good heaven. Who thought that was a good idea?
It's because people like her, the radical extremists, especially the trans movement, seem to me anyway, when you see them protesting, when you see them out on the streets, when you see them attacking Riley Gaines, these are especially belligerent and angry people, aren't they?
Well, belligerent is the right word. You can actually see in a tweet from Lindsey Briggs on April 6th. She says, not gay as in happy, but queer as in FU. And the picture is a woman pointing a gun.
Yeah.
So again, right before the Nashville shooting and the following two one avoided shooting in Colorado,
yes,
which was going to be a transgender shooting, a transgender individual that would have committed a shooting. And then the most recent shooting in Louisville, which is a guy also talking about transgender issues on social media. I mean, this is becoming a very serious issue where the LGBTQ community is becoming belligerent and suggesting or participating in acts of violence when they don't get their way.
Well, the thing is, Tony, it feels like they're getting their way a lot of times here. They feel like they're emboldened, and if they just raise enough hell, they'll get whatever they want. And this takes me to a story where Biden's Department of Justice offered some sort of sweetheart deal to a transgender vandal who was defacing property, defacing a Catholic church, destroyed a statue of the Virgin Mary. Had that been somebody wearing a MAGA hat, knocking down some sort of Black Lives Matter mural.
That's a hate crime right there.
That's a hate crime right there. But because it's the transgender community, they're going to get a slap on the wrist.
Well, this is exactly what we've seen, right? When certain cities across the United States pave part of a street in which people drive, not like Market Street in Indianapolis, which is like all bricks, but like a pavement street on a standard thoroughfare. They paint the big progress, trans, black and brown triangle with the pride flag over the street. And then when cars drive over it, if they leave a tire mark, it's a hate crime. But then after the Nashville shooting, in which a transgender individual targeted Christians, shot 3 Christian children and 3 Christian staffers at the school, Karine Jean-Pierre said, well, we have no idea what kind of a crime, what kind of motivation, but we do know that the trans community is under attack. So it's all about messaging. The Biden DOJ has exchanged justice for activism.
Yeah, it turns out the one you mentioned in Colorado, they arrested this person just days after Nashville. We didn't hear about this arrest until about a week and a half later. But it turns out when you pump these desperate, lonely, confused, angry people full of hormones, and then on top of that go to the media and suggest that there's a trans genocide going on. Can we just stop that? And can we maybe look at that and say that's part of the problem right now?
I've made this case several times, and I remember saying this prediction on your show over a year ago. When you tell children and when you tell individuals in school and young adults that they are under threat of genocide and that the other political faction are fascist Nazis who will do anything to strip their rights and kill them, the individual hearing these things, if they hear them loud enough and long enough, will believe them and will act accordingly. And when you are told that you're under threat of genocide, you will act in violence. This is why we've seen kids beaten on playgrounds and in hallways for not, supporting BLM or not, literally for the act in Ohio of not taking a knee and pledging their life to BLM, and the same with these transgender shootings. It's patently horrific.
Back to Northern California, the school district in Chico, how did they vote about the transgender policy?
They continue to, just like in Pendleton, they will continue to affirm the child who is mentally unstable against the wishes of the parent. And the question that a lot of legal minds right now are asking is, God forbid, if a child in that community commits suicide after a parent was kept in the dark, who's liable? Who's liable for the suicide when this child is fighting this mental instability, this mental illness alone, without the help of their parent who loves them and cares about them more than anyone in the world? They're kept in the dark. Who's going to pick up the pieces? Because it's not going to be some counselor at a public school who has to organize the funeral and deal with the grief and the loss. Not at the scale the parent will.
And you brought up Nashville a moment ago. I thought it was really telling. You had Kamala Harris actually decide to do something as the vice president. She traveled to Nashville because, let's be honest, getting her to do something has been a challenge. The border czar who wants no part of the border. She goes to Nashville, and instead of meeting with the brave first responders who eliminated the threat at that school, or even meeting with some of the family members who lost loved ones in that shooting, she met with the Tennessee Three.
This is the incredible thing. The three Tennessee lawmakers, Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and then another lady, the name's not coming to mind, marched onto the floor of the Tennessee Capitol during session and picked up bullhorns and were screaming, led rioters onto the floor, completely disrupted activities, which is, by the way, illegal. In Indiana, you can't stop proceedings of the House. Our legislator has to be in session when it's in session. Why? Because it's costing us money. And when you disrupt that, it puts the legislator's safety at risk, as well as a number of other things. And the story instantly became, they expelled 2 black legislators. This was clearly an act of racism. While it is more concerning that we have completely ignored the individuals who were shot in Nashville in order to preen over legislators who were justifiably expelled. It's incredible.
And one more thing on this before we move on to something else here. Do you think the trans community is rallying behind a lot of the things that we're seeing right now? And the reason I ask is when there's a white school shooter somewhere or a white mass shooter, I don't want to rally behind them at all. I hope Dylan Roof gets the chair. I'm pissed off Dylan Roof is still alive, but I'm not hearing the outcry from the trans community saying, this is not who we are. We condemn this totally. This is not something we want to be known for. I haven't heard a lot of that. Am I not just seeing it? Am I alone in thinking I'm not seeing a lot of outcry here?
No, you're not going to see this because, again, it doesn't fit the narrative. According to Pablo Ferrer's Pedagogy of the Oppressed, the group that is considered the majority, that is considered in power, cannot be harmed as far as crimes against it. This is why people say that racism on the left, they say it's prejudice plus power. It's not enough to treat someone differently because of innate characteristics about them, like skin color or sex or gender identity in this case, but it's who has the power. Because if I have societal power over you, then you're allowed to be racist, sexist, bigoted, or harm me violently. And it's just you acting under a system of oppression. And they twist Martin Luther King Jr.'s words around and say, well, riots are the language of the unheard, of the unspoken. And it's an excuse for violence. And what I believe, seeing around the country, the transgender community's response to Nashville and other shootings, is that they are quietly hoping more of this will occur. And I say that based on hundreds of social media protests, horrible things that people have said online and in person, because they feel, again, that there is some kind of genocide taking place. And to them, this is the only natural response.
So, Tony, we're running way late here. We got to take a little break right now. Can you come back? Because I know we've got like 2 minutes left. I want to get your thoughts on Tim Scott forming an exploratory committee, and is there a place for a candidate in this, what's shaping up to be very busy political field, that can make taking care of children their top priority? Can you stick around for just 2 more minutes?
Absolutely.
All right. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. We're coming right back.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could get a 35% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. We're believers in Bill, and now we're clients too. Not only will you get a 35% bonus, you'll sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company that's been in business for 140 years and has $2.5 trillion in assets.
To learn how you could get your 35% bonus, call 317-932-9912. Reach out to Bill Demery, your retirement guy, at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
Only one real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house. That's Mark Deedle. Hey, look, maybe you're worried you missed the boat on selling for maximum price. Well, with Mark Deedle and his guarantee, your home sold at an agreed upon price and deadline, or he'll buy it himself. How about Brandy in Indianapolis? Had an investment property, needed to sell, but she was certain she'd missed a boat on top dollar. Mark Deedle had the home sold in 2 days. Top dollar, super easy. Brandy was very pleased.
If you listened the other day, you heard Mark Deedle come on our show, and this dude knows his stuff. He is amazing. He's the best in the business, and he's the only one that we recommend because of the guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees he will sell your home or he'll buy it. That, my friends, is a guarantee. So call Mark Deedle today, 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This Saturday, make your way to Brownsburg and be part of the fundraiser for Brownsburg Blessing Boxes at Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street. From 3 to 7 p.m., we're going to raise money to help feed people in need. Just make a $100 donation, and you're going to be eligible for some amazing prize packs. You got to check it out, including some things curated by me, Tony Katz. We'll have a live Eat, Drink, Smoke show and a live Gun Guy show with Guy Relford. So join us on Saturday, April 15th from 3 to 7 p.m. to support Brownsburg Blessing Boxes at Premier Arms in Brownsburg. See you then.
People everywhere are binge watching their money. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. When checking Met Savings.
Together we make so much sense.
Also featuring Adventures of the Penny Pincher.
My journey has not been an easy one, but my budget is going to survive.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
The Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's cybersecurity, internet, and mobile, all from one provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. Comcast Business Internet required.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Yeah, that's a rolled pickup truck on the West Side High School at Rockville Road, and somebody did have to be pulled from the vehicle. Reportedly, they're okay. Looking at the East Side crash, Franklin Road at Edgewood Avenue. Also westbound 70. Stop and go traffic, Hendricks County, from State Road 267 for about 4.5 miles. South side westbound 465 jams at 65 over to Harding. And inbound 65 not moving from 29th to the North Split. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interior. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland and find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Tony Kennett of the Daily Signal with us. So we're up against a break here, Tony, but I wanted to bring you back for this. Tim Scott has announced an exploratory committee to run for the presidency. And he puts out a video, and he's got a lot of things in there. So it's shaping up to be a crowded field for the Republicans.
I like the video, by the way.
Right.
I do too. And even Joe Biden has at least one challenger. So I guess my question to you, you study this kind of stuff better than anybody in the country. Is there a place for a candidate to say, my main focus is taking care of kids? We're going to stop with schools, indoctrinate him. We're going to stop with all this ridiculousness. Is that a big enough issue for one candidate to make a run?
3 single sentence points here. Number one, education has become, and parental rights have become, a top 10 issue for Americans where it never has been before. Point number 2, that is not enough to make education the primary issue for a candidate of the presidency. Point number 3, therefore, I think that Scott is much better as a vice presidential pick. And therefore, I believe that the most powerful ticket would be a DeSantis and Scott for 2024. I think that would be the best use of time here.
It really feels like that's what a lot of these candidates are lobbying for. I mean, we know Pete Buttigieg probably wasn't going to be the nominee a year ago. He won Iowa, had a little momentum going, but he didn't have the long game, didn't have the funds. Right. It was all about getting onto somebody's cabinet. And I think you're seeing that now.
I think so, too. I think Nikki Haley's probably going to end up heading the DOJ or something like that, and you're going to see Scott be a VP pick.
So what are you working on at the Daily Signal?
Oh, we've got a whole host of interesting things coming out, including a crazy investigation about a union that might have covered up a rape story in Oklahoma. It's going to be wild.
Find his work at the Daily Signal. and also on the Tony Kinnett Show. Tony Kinnett, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Think of those massive, life-changing events. New job, maybe career, a brand new baby to take care of. Maybe your brood has gotten so big that you need a bigger house. Matt Bear here. Hey, all of these are major transitions. A lot for someone to handle. That's where Open Door comes in. When life stores open, let Open Door handle the house. When I sold my home, I just wanted to go. But I didn't have Open Door then, sentencing me to the old-fashioned home selling process, which came with all of the stresses, unplanned showings. The dreaded double move was there. I mean, why just pay mortgage when you could pay mortgage and rent, right? When you sell directly to Open Door, the hassles are gone. Skip the unknown and pick your closing date. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open Door app. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 02061130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
Today's kids and teenagers are facing more challenges than generations before. Culture is questioning basic, unchanging truths. Many parents are looking for direction to lead their kids and teenagers onto right paths. I'm Tina Pavey, Director of Next Gen Ministries at Life Church. We believe parents have what it takes to lead their kids and teenagers on a path that leads to life. And each Life Church campus is eager to partner with parents. For more information, visit one of the Life Church campuses or go to lifechurchin.com. Parents, you can do this. We will help you.
Fellas, need an annual health exam for work or just want to start the year prioritizing your health? We recommend Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They check all your levels, not just your testosterone.
It's typically covered by most health insurance, and if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100. For full labs and an office visit with the provider, Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Contaminated meds took Carrie's vision and her hope. A shooting stole Ray's sight and his dreams. To those who experience it, vision loss is devastating. But the programs of Bosma's Center for Visionary Solutions offer a return to independence. Without your help, though, those programs can't continue. If you act now, you can double the impact of your gift to the Bosma Visionary Opportunities Foundation. Change lives today at bosma.org/donate.
Traffic and weather brought to you by Insperity, providing scalable HR services, access to better benefits, payroll, and HR technology for over 35 years. Insperity's mission is to help businesses succeed so communities prosper. Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Visit Insperity.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by MCM CPAs and Advisors, your full-service accounting and advisory